The information shared in these conversations and videos are intended for general knowledge and entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered as legal advice or professional guidance. Additionally, any documentation or references to specific content are solely for the purpose of discussion and understanding. It does not imply endorsement, promotion, or support of said content. The views expressed in these videos and/or conversation are those of the individuals involved and do not represent any official stance or opinion. The content you are about to experience may contain strong language, including explicit words and phrases. This language is used for artistic expression and may be integral to the storyline or character development. It is important to note that the use of such language does not endorse or promote offensive behavior. Viewer discretion is advised, and please enjoy the show responsibly. Disclaimer: copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. The Canadian Copyright Act Section 29 allows an individual to use copyright-protected materials when creating a new work, such as mashup, and to post the new work online on a site like YouTube. Fair dealing provision for specific purposes like research, private study, education, parody, satire, criticism, review, and news reporting.
A theater, puppets on strings, false paradises fall, the curtain drops, bodies in hands that aren't their own. Empires crumble and I'm alone. Nothing's clear. The world's face dark, filled with fear. Why is this the way it seems? Why am I trapped in dreams? Surrounds my mind. How can I see the sun when bombs lie behind? Why am I here? Lost in shadows, drowning in fear. Lost my path, afraid of fate. No one to guide me, it's far too late. I see the children, eyes so pure. I wish they'd never grow their innocence secure. Beyond the anger, beyond sell heaven like land, but I talk to God without a middleman. They pass the plate, I pass the test. They bless the rich, we curse the rest. Built a throne off our broken backs, gold-plated truth in collection sacks. Preach obedience, not liberation. Use the cross like a brand, not a revelation. Say God is love, but they judge with hate. Close the gates, then talk fate while they overplay. We ain't kneeling to priest with blood on the hands. You wanna talk holy, then clean your land. You fear my spirit cause it don't need chains. It walks with fire through ashes. Who owns the truth? Who's selling grace? They build big walls just to block God's face. You speak for who? Who gave you the crown? We found the divine when your church burned down. No robes, no rules, just flame inside. Burn my temple, don't need no place to hide. You lied in the light while we prayed in the dark. Now spirit fights back, divine and stark. You say you got the truth in a book with your edits. Chaptered, control your doctrine, synthetic. Baptize the masses in guilt and fear, but excommunicate questions when they get near. You bless wars, you hide crimes. You silence women, then call it divine. You build cathedrals on the backs of doubt, but the soul don't whisper when the spirit shouts. I found God in the gutter, in the dirt and the pain, not in stained glass or capital gain. You fear the ones who don't kneel in pews, cause we see the stars, not just yours. Who owns the truth? Who's selling grace? They build big walls just to block God's face. You speak for who? Who gave you the crown? We found the divine when your church burned down. No robes, no rules, just flame inside. Run my temple, don't need no place to hide. You lied in the light while we prayed in the dark. Now spirit fights back, divine and stark. You fear what you can't own. You shame what you can mold. But truth was never a sermon. It was a spark in the soul. I don't need your steeple to talk to the eternal. Yeah. When everyone around me thinks my life has lost its way, when life tears you out of my arms, the emptiness won't fade away. My body's breaking faster now. I've pushed beyond my edge. It's time to let it go. I'll do it without regret. But when the river overflows from my eyes, I beg you, look into me tonight. Look at the waves, see how blue they shine. You'll understand how much I want you mine. When the river overflows, when the silence cries, I beg you, look a little in my eyes. When my past starts to surface and my flaws are on the ice, what do you want me to do? When the mirror shows my life, when the rhythm slips away and the music turns to gray, when everything when my memories burn and make me ache, when fear wakes me before the day can break. Don't let me run, don't let me hide, just hold me close and keep me alive. Look at the waves, see how blue they shine. You'll understand how much I want you mine. When the river overflows, when the night won't die, I beg you, look a little in my eyes. If someday nothing matters at all, can't keep the same rhythms call, don't let it in, don't walk away, follow me, and we'll find our way. Silence where the breath begins, light unfolds beneath the skin, through the marrow, through the soul. Something ancient takes control, a golden river starts to climb, uncoiling through the edge of time. Every shadow starts to burn, every heart begins to turn. Rise, golden serpent, rise, through the body, through the skies. Let the sun and soul combine. I am the spark, the sacred sign. Rise, golden serpent, rise. Awaken the power inside. Carved in dust and stone, echo whispers I've always known. Circles spin, the flower breathe. Energy hums through cosmic leaves. Heaven meets the earth below, in the place the dreamers go. Every color folds as one, every moment births the sun. Through the
All right, everybody, welcome back to Out of This World Live. I am your host, Patrick, aka OTW. We are back in the studio once again. Fuck, man. Wrong time to call. Right when I start the show, I get a phone call. It's just perfect. All right, so shout out to the 22 people watching right now. Much love and respect. Share this out. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And leave a comment, man. Go ahead and leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm. Yeah. And so let's shout out to the chat. We have Mimsy Limbs in the house. Welcome to the show. Channel member, the Pixel T, also moderator. We got Boy. Sun Rocks is in the house. Welcome. Fire Drake 009 in Enigmatic Considerations is also in chat. Welcome. We got I Want Tea. We also have Rodney Kitley. Welcome to the show. Channel member, ladies and gentlemen, Modern Men Lost Again. We have Trailer. Dominico is in the house. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you guys here this morning. And, I had some things lined up for today's broadcast. So let me just hurry up and get those things in the backstage so I can share them with y'all. I already have the setup for the Alice in Wonderland's Decode. And, but beforehand, I do want to actually finish reviewing Yolanda's video that we did not finish a couple of days ago, right? So I might even have to start it over, right, just to get it into context, because it does have a lot to do with my presentation, right? So I think that would be a perfect show today. To carry on the theme that we've been doing, or that I've been doing lately, I believe Yolanda is also doing. So just why am I not on the right thing here? Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Give me a moment here. I'm going to bring it up on screen in just a few. Oh, wait a minute. Is there a new one? No, okay. That's another one. All right. Wait, hold on a second. All right. Yeah. See, we were only halfway through the video. It's like we barely got through 39 minutes of it, right? So it's like, I'm going to start it over. For the ones who haven't seen it, right? I guess for the other ones, this will be kind of like redundant because I was trying to review that the other day. And, some people didn't enjoy it. I get that. People don't enjoy this kind of stuff. But those are actually the ones that we want to get rid of, right? The audience that doesn't enjoy this stuff. You guys can just like step out right now, have a great day, For the other ones who are actually into spirituality and human biology and how the brain functions and all of that good information, that really good stuff. It's like it's nourishment for the soul, right? This is food for the soul and also food for thought, right? So, yeah. So for some reason I wasn't ready again, but that's okay. I mean, even after 3 years of broadcasting, we still, make these little teeny weeny mistakes, lack of preparation, too kind of like on the spot kind of stuff. But that's all right. You can't succeed without having to know what it is to fail, right? So you got to fail to be able to succeed, right? So let me just bring down this little thing here. And I'm really good at failing. I was like, I'm like the best freaking failer. I can fail, man. I fucking know how to fail. I really do, right? But I succeeding is another thing. That's actually it's a new realm, right? It's kind of like, right? But that's okay because I do know that time and time again, more that you fail, you eventually become really good at what you were failing at. Kind of like when you learn an instrument, right? In the beginning, you suck, right? You don't know what you're doing. You're just making noise, banging at the strings. You don't even know what a freaking chord is. You don't know what the name of the chords are. You know nothing, right? You're just like, So this is a bit the same thing, you know. It's like we all just don't know nothing, and we're all learning as we go. So I'm in constant, perpetual learning mode. I guess that's what I'd call that. I'm in perpetual learning mode. I'm always learning something new, and trying to correlate that to all kinds of things, especially when I do decodes, right? So without any further ado, let's get right back into Yolanda's presentation, which was actually extremely good. So I'm going to have that play itself out kind of like right now.
Dogma is seductive because it offers safety. Certainty and belonging, but in the nervous system, dogma acts like chronic stress. When we cling to a rigid idea, the amygdala, our fear center, stays activated. The body floods with adrenaline and cortisol, narrowing our perception. We stop listening, we stop learning, we defend instead of understand. Dogma is like intellectual inflammation. It makes the mental body swollen and reactive. Now combine that with our modern environment, social media outrage, 24/7 news cycles, endless polarization, and what happens? We become addicted to being right. Algorithms exploit that addiction. They reward outrage, amplify fear, and feed us content that reaffirms what we already believe. And that's how the collective mind fractures into echo chambers of certainty. Dogma becomes not just a belief, but an identity. And when identity becomes rigid, empathy collapses. We stop seeing others as extensions of ourselves and start seeing them as enemies. That's when violence, control, and propaganda thrive. That's when societies lose flexibility, mentally, emotionally, and economically. Dogma is not just an idea, it's a pattern of disconnection. To live beyond dogma is not to reject belief, it's to hold belief with breath. To know that truth is not a line, it's a spiral. It evolves as you do. So how do we live? How do we live this? We make choices from principles, not pressure. We stay curious instead of certain. We allow multiple truths to coexist, knowing paradox is the natural language of the cosmos. Because coherence isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. When your nervous system is calm, your emotions are open, your body is grounded, and your awareness is rhythmic. You align with the flow of creation itself. And from that place, you stop being manipulated by fear or ideology. You stop reacting, you start creating, you become sovereign, but connected. Rooted, but fluid. Awake, but humble. That's the balance, the middle path between chaos and control. Before there was light, there was vibration. Before there was matter, there was sound. And from that primordial hum, that cosmic ohm, the entire universe unfolded. So welcome back, everybody, here to the Pixel Tea, and take a deep breath. Now, imagine your body as a symphony. Blood, breath, hormones, thoughts, all playing in rhythm with the pulse of the planet. But what happens when the music goes out of tune? When our minds are flooded with static from stress, screens, and synthetic signals? That's what we're exposing today. How to realign the human instrument with the natural, magnetic, and divine frequencies that sustain all life. By the end of the stream, you'll see how your biology, your emotions, and even your spirituality are all woven through a single thread of vibration. Sound is not mystical, it's mathematical. Every tone, every rhythm, every vibration creates a pattern, a measurable dance of pressure and frequency. When your body encounters sound, it doesn't just hear it, it resonates. Your cells vibrate, your blood pulses, your nervous system synchronizes. Science calls this entrainment, the tendency of rhythmic systems to fall into step with one another. That's why your heartbeat syncs to slow music, why your brain waves align with drum beats or binaural tones, why you feel calmer when you hum. Now here's the key. It's not about secret frequencies or magic numbers. It's about resonance. Binaural beats synchronize brain hemispheres. Vibroacoustic therapy relaxes muscles, same rhythm found in our alpha brain waves, our heartbeat patterns, and even the vagal tone of calm, regulated breathing. It's nature's Wi-Fi, slow, stable, and grounding. But here's the plot twist. In the modern world, we're surrounded by frequencies millions of times stronger. Phones, satellites, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all emitting chaotic electromagnetic fields. Now, I'm not saying we toss out our tech, but we must recognize what it's doing. These artificial fields disrupt coherence. Our cells start listening to the noise instead of the natural signal. And singing bowls and chanting exist across every spiritual culture. They knew that sound heals. Low frequency rhythms, 1 to 8 hertz, can induce meditative states. They slow brain waves, open intuition, and dissolve anxiety. When your cells vibrate with coherence, your emotions follow. When your voice resonates with gratitude, the entire electromagnetic field of your body brightens. So, when you chant, sing, or simply hum to yourself, you're reprogramming your biology through resonance. For centuries, we were taught that reality happens to us, that fate, circumstances, and chance rule our lives. But the awakening mind begins to sense a deeper truth. Reality happens through us. We are not spectators of creation, we are instruments through which it sings. Becoming the signal reveals how thought, emotion, and biology intertwine as one living frequency, a field of creation, emanating from every cell, every breath, every belief. It bridges neuroscience, quantum physics, and spiritual awareness to show that we are not passive receivers of reality, but activate transmitters shaping it in every moment. So what does it mean to truly live in coherence with that field? It means we stop fighting nature's timing. We align with her rhythms. We rise with the light. We sleep with the darkness. We eat living foods that carry natural magnetism. We hydrate with intention. We speak words that create peace and not chaos. Breath and harmony, capable of influencing patterns in our environment. This is the essence of becoming the signal, where inner frequency. What if there's something even more subtle, an invisible field that connects everything? Ancient mystics called it the ether or akasha. Today, quantum physicists describe it as the quantum field, explores vibration as the language of life itself. Our energy is not mystical, it is measurable, tangible, and biological. Even thought and feeling alters our hormonal balance, our breath, rhythm, our magnetic field. Awareness becomes the guardian of energy, the quiet witness that can reclaim attention from an unconscious loops of fear and fatigue. Thank you, Kalex. I appreciate you letting me know that. True power, it reveals, exists only in the now. Presence is not stillness, it is precision. The art of placing one's energy exactly where one chooses it to flow. Though mindful breath, sensory awareness, and emotional regulation, scattered attention returns home, and the nervous system begins to harmonize. The teaching grounds this in the body. Movement as medicine, energy like water, it must circulate. Dance, stretch, walk, breathe, these are not trivial acts, but sacred resets that transmute stagnation into vitality. One learns to curate their vibrational environment to create spaces, sounds, and relationships that reflect coherence rather than chaos. Generosity and compassion emerge as the highest technologies of vibration. Every act of kindness signals unity to the quantum field. Giving is not loss, it is resonance. Through giving, one harmonizes with abundance itself. So now let's talk about divine communication, the language of the universe. It's not English, it's not Latin, it's mathematics and magnetism. Mathematics gives form, Fibonacci spirals, the golden ratio, sacred geometry, the fingerprints of order. Magnetism gives life, the unseen current animating those forms. Together, they create everything. Mathematics is God's grammar. Magnetism is God's tone of voice. When the ancients spoke of the logos, the word that formed creation, they were describing vibration, organizing matter. Every sound, every thought, every emotion has a magnetic frequency. That means your words literally sculpt the electromagnetic field around you. So when you speak in fear, your body contracts. When you speak in gratitude, your field expands. Your blood chemistry changes, your brain synchronizes. This is not metaphorical, it's measurable. You are an instrument, and your emotions are frequencies tuning your field.
Same here. Welcome
Calix,
to
it looks like you're on board with everything that I'm saying so far.
Crystal Shaman's in the house.
I saw that you posted this. You drank you made yourself like a tea. It was with this chicken broth, cayenne pepper, sliced ginger, minced garlic, and lemon, and you garnished it with lemon. You know, that sounds like an amazing cleansing for your gut. So I do that, but not all at once. So I bet you that if you were not feeling well, it probably cleansed things out in your stomach. That's for sure. Okay. Good to see you, Landry. Thanks for stopping in. And you know darn well I'm not your favorite channel. Don't lie. Okay. So let's get back to this. We're going to talk about the gut, which seems to be the forgotten gateway, but it is potentially the descent into our wholeness. So the final revaluation returns to the foundation of embodiment, the gut, the first brain, and the true gateway to awakening. Here, spirituality becomes physiology. Before intuition opens the crown, it must rise through the belly, the seat of primal intelligence. The gut is more than digestion. It is a biocosmic network of neurons, microbes, and electromagnetic currents that sense reality before the mind interprets it. When the body is in defense, when the gut is clenched in fear or unprocessed emotion, higher awareness cannot ascend. Awakening, therefore, requires safety in the nervous system. Breath, fasting, emotional release, and mindful nourishment purify this inner circuitry. Ancient mystics knew this. They tended the body as a temple, preparing it to carry higher frequencies. The enteric nervous system and vagus nerve form the divine conduit, carrying the song of energy from gut to heart to the crown. The mesentery, the golden web that holds the intestines, becomes the living fabric of light, transmitting life force throughout the human field. True ascension is not escape, but integration, descending into the body, softening the belly, digesting stored pain, and allowing the body's intelligence to lead. When the gut hums in harmony, the heart opens and the mind becomes clear as glass. And I just want to say that I felt inspired to pull this information that I've had together based off of the conversations that I've seen happening in what we call the panelverse here on YouTube, which are just live panels of people coming together and having conversations about all different types of topics. And in my last stream, I talked about the brain. And I noticed, and I was quite honored that Modern Men Lost Again and OTW News had played my video. And I received a lot of positive feedback. And quite truthfully, I wasn't expecting that. So OTW News had played a video from Santos Bonacci interviewing a gentleman about water. And that made me go back to my own notes and my journals and some of the books that I have, along with conversations with Esra, and her channel is Mindful Exposures. And I thought that I would get started on this path of integrating these topics and starting off here on my channel. And I look forward to doing some future interviews and panels with Esra and maybe OTW News or anybody else that would be interested. I'd be more than happy to do it. So this is what inspired me. So let's go back to this. So have you ever had one of those days where you just feel, for lack of a better way of describing it, as feeling nothing? Like your emotions went offline. You're not sad, you're not happy, you just feel blank. Maybe you can't cry, maybe you feel flat, detached, or like you're floating outside your own body. At the scariest part, you don't even know why. And like I said earlier, you're not broken. What you're feeling is your nervous system's way of protecting you. So tonight I'm going to try my best to explain why that happens. And hopefully in a gentle way to help you feel again. So let's start here. Emotional numbness isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign that your body's doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect you from overwhelm. When we go through too much stress, loss, or trauma, our nervous system can't keep running at full power forever. It shuts things down like a circuit breaker. You might feel detached, like life's happening in a movie you're just watching. You know, have you guys ever felt that way? I know I have. This is your freeze response, also called the dorsal vagal state in the nervous system. Animals use it to survive, and humans do too. So before you try to fix it, take a breath. The part of you that went numb was only trying to help you survive. There's certain stretches that I do before I even lay down in my bed. But I make sure that I speak to all the different parts of my body to relax it, to connect my mind and my body together, and to remind the body that it's safe. And then my breathing, and I relax and I fall asleep. So when we feel safe, our emotions start to return naturally. So, I mean, even right now, look around your space that's around you. Notice what tells your body, I'm safe enough. It might be your breath, the sound of your pet nearby, a warm drink in your hands. Safety doesn't always mean happy. It means your body isn't under attack. It means your system can relax enough to let feeling back in. Try saying out loud, I'm safe enough to feel what I feel. Or something like, I'm allowed to feel nothing right now. Both statements are powerful reprogramming tools for the brain. Sometimes the numbness is guarding a deeper emotion, like I mentioned before, grief, anger, fear, or even love. It isn't just in your head, it flows in your kidneys and the waters of your body. Grief moves through the lungs like wind carrying away old breath, and anger burns in your liver, waiting to be refined in division. Worry circles in your spleen, but when balanced, it becomes foresight. And joy radiates from your heart, the inner sun. So let's trace these energies from the emotional to the elemental, from the biological to the cosmic, and learn how the same hydrogen that fuels the stars. Our emotions don't arise randomly, they rise and fall with the same rhythms that govern tides and stars. The ancients indicating through light, hydrogen, and vibration. During digestion, your gut bacteria produces hydrogen gas, a miniature version of stellar fusion. These tiny bursts of energy power your system, regulate your mood, and even shape your thoughts. The gut is your inner cosmos, so feed it well, with natural food, mineral water, slow breath, and gratitude. When you do, you create coherence, a harmony between heaven and earth, macrocosm and microcosm. So next time you eat, imagine that your meal is like starlight entering your inner universe. You're literally feeding your constellation of life. So the gut, the emotional soil of the body, inside you lives an entire ecosystem, a rainforest of bacteria, fungi, and cells working in harmony. Over 500 million neurons are down there, forming what scientists call the enteric nervous system, your second brain. When your gut is healthy, beneficial microbes produce serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, the very same chemicals your brain uses for mood, focus, and peace. This means your gut literally speaks the language of emotion. But here's the twist. When that inner ecosystem becomes imbalanced, when stress, processed food, or antibiotics disrupt it, tiny cracks appear in your gut lining. Toxins and inflammatory molecules start leaking into your bloodstream. And when they reach your brain, they whisper confusion. They fog your mind. They create the heaviness we call depression or the restlessness we call anxiety. So when you say, I feel off, your body might be saying, my soil needs tending. Your mood mirrors your microbiome. Every emotion has biology behind it. So now, if your gut is the soil, your hormones are the weather. They shift, they flow, they create the emotional climate inside of you. So like estrogen and progesterone, these influence serotonin and dopamine. When they swing, so does mood and sleep. Cortisol, the stress hormone, too much of it tears holes in your gut, in the lining, and tells your brain you're in danger even when you're safe. Thyroid and insulin, they govern energy, focus, and emotional steadiness. When these chemical weather patterns are chaotic, your emotional seasons become unpredictable. One moment bright, the next stormy. So healing your emotions isn't just about affirmations or mindsets. It's about tending to your internal climate, balancing the biological weather that your thoughts grow under. Deeper, because inflammation is not just physical, it's emotional fire. So when your gut leaks or your hormones spike, ketokines, tiny chemical messengers, enter the bloodstream and cross into the brain. They change how your brain makes dopamine and serotonin. Suddenly, you're unmotivated, tired, foggy, and you don't know why. But the truth, that emotional fog is your body's distress signal. Your sadness might be inflammation's voice. It's your body saying, cool the fire. How? Through nourishment, breath, and rest. Healing is not about silencing symptoms. It's about restoring harmony between your soil, your weather, and your river. So let's rebuild from these roots. With our nutrition, feed the good bacteria with fiber-rich foods, fermented vegetables, and mineral-dense hydration. And avoid inflammatory triggers like refined sugar, seed oils, alcohol, because they erode the. Your cells sing in frequencies of light, and God's mathematics are written in your very own DNA. You are the bridge between matter and spirit, between sound and silence, between your thought and divine intelligence. You are the living word, spoken into form. So as we bring it all together, you are not separate from the frequencies all around you. You are frequency. Your frequency embodied. Your heart, brain, and gut are oscillating instruments. Your blood resonates with solar magnetism. Your nervous system hums in the same frequencies as the planet's electromagnetic field. When you chant, when you drum, when you simply listen, you're tuning your internal orchestra to cosmic rhythm. And when your inner music is coherent, your mind clears, emotions balance, creativity flows, and intuition sharpens. That's what is means to live in synchrony. Sound is not a weapon, it's a bridge between your biology.
Wonderland, right? That's going to be today's presentation, all right? So the way I see this, wow, that's pretty small, isn't it? I think I might have to put it on the other side. Hold on a second. Get myself organized here. There we go. All right, so let's just jump right in, right? Okay, so I also got Jack here. Is kind of, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but anyway. So the sister and the river, something her ordinary eyes cannot. Furthermore, the rabbit is obsessed with time, crying, "I shall be too late." This obsession symbolizes the collapse of the rational mind's control over time. The watch, a symbol of human-made linear tick-tock time, is suddenly useless in the face of the eternal, non-linear time of the spirit world. Okay? This conflict between rational time and eternal time is a core theme of the spiritual awakening process. The ajna center starts to perceive a different reality. All right, sorry about that. Jack unplugged my earphones. All right, segment 5. Hold on a second. Had to help him up on the chair. The descent begins. Segment 5. The immediate choice to fall. Okay. Yeah. It's, in other words, the leap of faith, right? So Alice's decision to pop down a large rabbit hole and not once think about how she will get out is a definite moment of commitment. The hole is the vertical entrance to the underworld, a mythological descent found in every hero's journey. This hole is where the old self has to die before the new self can be born. Hence, you got to empty your cup before you fill it. It is a sudden blind leap of faith. The descent is not gentle. It is an immediate rejection of the safe horizontal world for the dangerous vertical world of the spirit. Okay? She is moving from the outer world, the profane, into the inner, secret world, the sacred. In occult terms, this hole represents the beginning of the journey down Shushumna Nadi. Shushumna Nadi. I'm going to be able to pronounce these words a lot better eventually. The central energy channel that runs from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. Alice's curiosity is so strong. Her soul's compulsion is so great. So, yeah, you see, Jack has something to say about this. He does. You all right, Jack? Okay? You good? All right. Thank you. Wow. All right. Falling down the well. All right. Segment 6. Okay. So this is pretty much the dark plunge into the deep self. The moment Alice starts falling down a very deep well is the story's central event of Negrido. Negrido is an alchemical term meaning the blackening or the putrefaction. It is the stage of the great work where the old raw material, Alice's sense of self, must be completely broken down, decayed, and dissolved in darkness before it can be rebuilt into something new and golden. The well is a symbol of the deepest structure of the earth and the deepest part of the unconscious mind. As Alice falls, she notices that the well's sides are filled with cupboards and bookshelves holding maps and pictures. This is a visual diagram of the alchemical stage called separatio, the separation, in other words. Alice is separating the useful parts of her mind from the useless clutter. The books and the maps symbolize all of school's knowledge and the conscious mind's attempt to map or control reality. This kind of knowledge is associated with the expansive planet Jupiter, which governs scholars, books, and wisdom. However, in the realm of the unconscious, the well, this knowledge is entirely useless. Okay, it is it is all hanging upon pegs, showing it is merely superficial decoration. The great wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus is relevant here. Okay, the universe is mental. Since Wonderland is a mental universe, the physical surface level knowledge Alice brings from the top world is worthless for true mental transmutation. It must be separated and left behind. Leave the world behind. Isn't that a new movie that was out a couple of years ago? I believe so. Okay, the vertical well, segment 8, mapping the fall onto the body's spine. The physical description of the well as a long vertical shaft is one of the most important clues for understanding the allegorical anatomy of human being. Okay, the entire body's energy system is built around a central pillar, the spine. Manly P. Hall refers to the spine as Jacob's ladder, right? The cable that connects the divine mind to the physical body. Alice's fall is a symbolic journey down this ladder, down the spinal column. The descent moves her awareness away from the light and air, the crown, and the throat chakras, towards the dense, heavy earth element at the very base of the spine, where the Muladhara chakra is located. Okay, the long, slow fall allows her to observe her spiritual terrain as she passes each energetic level. Therefore, the well is not just a hole in the ground; it is a direct metaphor for the spinal channel. Okay. And the journey is a forced awakening of the energy centers along this axis, right? There we go. All right. I think I have to go back to 1, 2, 3, the golden afternoon. All right, so the empty marmalade jar where the inner power is missing midway through her fall, Alice grabs a jar labeled orange marmalade. She holds it for a moment, find it is empty, and carefully places it on a cupboard. This small scene has a powerful meaning for the next stage of her initiation. The color orange is the key. Orange is the color most closely associated with Manipura chakra, right? The sacral chakra. No, actually, it was the solar plexus. Sorry about that. And here's another thing about what I know about the orange is actually it's the number 33. Now, I can't remember how I know that, but I just know. Orange is 33. That's what represents 33 as a color. Okay, which is the center of personal power, will, and enlightenment of fire. This center is governed by the assertive, fiery planet Mars. The jar is a container for marmalade, a jam made from fruit, a product of will and effort. The fact that the jar is empty means that Alice's personal will, her solar fire, and her ability to control her situation are completely drained and missing at the start of her journey. She cannot rely on her existing power or fire to complete the fall, showing that she must earn her spiritual strength later. By gently putting the empty jar away, she is acknowledging that the tools she needs are not present yet. All right, I'm going to go back here. So here it is. The secret map of self and the initiation process complete. Okay. Chapter 1, right? This is only chapter 1 in the whole story. Imagine that. This is just chapter 1. Okay. Chapter 1 ends with Alice hitting the ground in a soft heap of hitting the ground with a soft heap. The fall is over. The first great painful stage of her secret initiation is complete. The total journey has been forced negrito, the blackening of her ego, beginning with the golden light of the Sahasrara chakra, the top of the head, the crown chakra, and forcing her awareness to the depths of the Muladhara chakra, the base of the spine, the root chakra. She was guided by the mercurial impulse of the rabbit, Ajna chakra. Okay, lost her rational knowledge, which was Sapariatio, and discovered the lack of her inner will, Manipura chakra. The story is, in its essence, a secret map for spiritual ascent that paradoxically begins with a total and uncontrolled ascent. This process mirrors the ancient hidden teachings found across all mystery schools, right? Showing that you must first fall into the dark chaos of the self before you can truly be reborn into the light. The end of the chapter leaves her fully initiated into the lower, foundational world of the unconscious mind, ready to begin the work of climbing back up the ladder of self with the new knowledge. And that'll conclude my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed that, except for the stuttering and the jack interruptions, right? Which obviously I'm going to have to spend more time now kind of like editing all that out, right? So let's bring myself full screen here. And for some reason, my screen is small. I don't know what's going on. Holy crap. Let me see. So bring that down. Turn that off. Yes, I do want to save that. Whoops, cancel. Save this. Save as. Decoding. Hold on a second. All right, decoding. Alice in Wonderland. All right, so decoding Alice in Wonderland, chapter 1. There we go. So that means there's going to be chapter 2, chapter 3. We're going to be decoding it. Like, I'll be making more videos on Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, so that's done. Save that. Close that. Come back to StreamYard. And we got 30 people watching. Hit the like button. Share this out. I'll be dropping the link if anybody wants to join the panel. I'll be opening up the panel. And if there is no one who's interested in talking about this topic, and well, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the show. So it's up to you guys. Link is in the chat. While you're at it, hit the like button. Don't forget to share. If you also want to support the channel, we have super chats, PayPal links, memberships. You can all find that on the YouTube page that you're on right now, watching the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. You know, I've been working on doing at least one per broadcast, so it's a lot of time, you know, doing all of these things. But hey, I believe it's worth it. All right, I believe it's worth it. So I guess we can go for a musical break while we wait for our friends to join the show. All right. How about this one?
Listen up, people, I got something to say about propaganda and how it's used today. It's a tool of the powerful to control what we think. A way to manipulate, to make us all sink. Propaganda, propaganda, it's everywhere we go. On the news, in the ads, on the radio. It's a message, a story that someone wants to sell. So don't believe everything, do your research well. They say it's for our own good, but who decides what's the truth behind the lies they disguise? It's all about power and the way that it's used to keep us knocked down, to keep us confused. Propaganda, propaganda, it's everywhere we go. On the news, in the ads, on the radio. It's a message, a story that someone wants to sell. So don't believe everything, do your research well. It's time to wake up, to see through the haze, to question everything and not just obey. We need to take back our minds and our souls, to stand up for truth and let the propaganda go. Propaganda, propaganda, it's everywhere we go. On the news, in the ads, on the radio. It's a message, a story that someone wants to sell. So don't believe everything, do your research well. So that's the cap about propaganda today. Remember to be careful and don't be led astray. Question everything and don't just conform. That's the only way to keep our freedom warm. Propaganda is a weapon used to incite hate, to divide us into groups and manipulate our fate. They create false enemies to justify their wars, and spread misinformation to keep us behind bars. Propaganda, propaganda, it's everywhere we go. On the news, in the ads, on the radio. It's a message, a story that someone wants to sell. So don't believe everything, do your research well. It's time to stand up and fight for what is right. To break free from the chains and shine a bright light. Expose the lies and the deceitful schemes. And wake up to reality and live our dreams. It's time to stand up and keep our minds sharp, to not be fooled by the propaganda on the harp. Spread the word and stand up for truth. Together we can make a change and live a life uncouth. Propaganda can be subtle, it can be sly, it can come in many forms and catch us by surprise. It's up to us to be vigilant and not be swayed, to seek out the facts and not just what's displayed. Propaganda, propaganda, it's everywhere we go. On the news, in the ads, on the radio. It's a message, a story that someone wants to sell. So don't believe everything, do your research well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just typing up in chat. No, I didn't see the Northern Lights last night. Proper instruction motivates people in videos, top video. Well, thank you for that information, because that's like, I wouldn't have known if they, nobody said anything. I don't get a link. I tell people, come, you don't even have to come up on stage, man. Just show up backstage, pop it in private chat, the link, and I'll fucking play it. I don't know what the issue is. So proper instruction motivates people. So let's go there. In videos. They want to know, is Gorilla season over? Oh, that's cool. Is that it? Is that the one? Here to serve. Okay, you remember the gorilla, right? No, I forgot. I completely forgot who the gorilla was. There's a gorilla? I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so let me play that video. I want to play that video. That interests me. All right. Okay. Share screen, obviously. Oh, man, Jack is really a handful. Okay. So this is a 5-minute and 30-second video. This is a... All right. Let's bring that up on stage. Put that full screen, and here it goes. Oh, wait a minute. Shit. I think it was, oh, yeah, it was still in 1.5. All right, let's try that again.
Yeah, this ain't a season, it's a sermon. Yeah, still spine, eyes straight ahead, silver tongue, evolution with purpose. You feel that drum line in your chest, your heart chakra won't give a rest. That's the call to stand for something. Yeah. Yeah, gorilla season, that's a bloodline reason. Truth stay breathing while the fake ones weaken. Y'all chase trends, I'm tending temples, building bonds that don't bend when it's stressful. Imagine being in the foxhole, praying like an apostle, and the only thing that'll stop you from giving up in front of the obstacle is a man fighting next to you screaming, I got you. You scroll for a moral to rent. I'm in the trench with intent, truth paying the rent. They quote real till the deal gets signed, then peel off fast when the heat's on the line. Something that's been stuck in my mind is if I start diving money made versus drama looping time. You find this drama looping slaves work about $3 an hour, that's fine. But don't they know we can press rewind, begin to search and find all that line about getting on my level and how to climb. I don't flex clout, I flex conviction. This is permanent red ink, not a subscription. Feed addiction, your timeline faith evaporates quick. Mine built brick by brick, no algorithmic trick. We're talking conviction. Imagine you trying to build a house, but the BQ print is missing. You ain't got a pot to piss in, a window to keep the wind out. What is this? In search of consensus. White gorilla, I'ma need a witness.
It's gorilla season, gorilla season. No off switch, no treason. Truth don't trend. It's a lifelong reason. Y'all just posting for applause and likes. We be building systems that survive the night. Y'all just posting for applause and likes. We building systems that survive the night.
I seen prophets turn profit, then vanish in the mist. Spiritual grifters with a sponsorship list. You was woke to the check clear clean, now your conscience on mute. You off the team, but the best part of this gorilla thing is the jungle been know to bring a certain unsettling, meddling with the vision scene. I'm talking camouflage, green and brown, hot with the metal ring. Crouch real low, stop breathing, hold your chest. We hold truth like a family crest, checking lies like we bench press stress. Accountability's the new revolution. Mutual correction, that's real evolution. You talk loyalty,
I live that code.
got brothers who would die before they drop that load. Every word that I write, I could back in flesh. Your authentic brand, just merch at best. But now you stress, cause you got a shopping cart, but it's not adding up. Use your mathematics, bruh, instead of the numerology got you stuck.
It's gorilla season, gorilla season. No off switch, no treason. Truth don't trend. It's a lifelong reason. Y'all just posting for applause and likes. We building systems that survive the night. Y'all just posting for applause and likes. We building systems that survive the night.
Gorilla don't follow trends, we set vibration.
Look him in the eye. perennial flame through each generation. No filters, no slogans, no borrowed creed, just roots and deeds and a soul that bleeds. I don't kneel the metrics, I kneel the meaning, planting truth seeds. While the cloud fiends scheme and they scream real talk, but they talk rehearsed, selling virtue by the verse. Man, the script got worse. I'm calling back the tribe, the aligned, the aware, the ones who build truth like a solar flare. It's here, cause every lie's just a tax on breath. The gorilla don't pay that debt. We gorilla
season. That iron reason. When the phonies fade out and the real start breathing. No slogans, no stunts, no treason. This truth we live in perennial season.
Civilization is crumbling. God bless you.
All right. That was actually a really good video. I like the lyrics. They were awesome. And you know what I end up realizing is there's a hero at the end of each level of Dante's Inferno, which are the 7 chakras, right? The 7 levels. It's the journey. And there's a hero at every journey, right? So I guess it all depends on which level you're at, right? Not everybody's at the same level. A lot of people are just still down in hell, you know. That's all I can perceive. This song is a great song, you know. And what I can get from that song is my perception of what guerrilla season in my mind was a military term that I guess was thrown around because of the accountability sessions, right? Yeah, it was a military term that I thought was being used. And I guess I didn't get the whole essence of what it really meant. But at the same time, maybe that season's just over for me, right? I think that season's over for me. It probably not is. It's not for others, but that particular term in my mind, when it came to the military aspect of it, was it was just done. I'm at a different level in my journey. I no longer find myself in need to hold anybody else accountable but myself, right? I don't think it's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time. I don't, you guys fucking choose your own journeys, man. You do what you want, man. This realm is not even a freaking, material realm as we perceive it, right? It's all based on our perception of it, right? So once you start perceiving the world in a different way, the whole world will change. It has nothing to do with you trying to change the exterior world. It's about you fixing yourself, being accountable for yourself, doing the inner work yourself. And I'd like to thank Mr. E coming in with the $10 super chat. That's awesome. I really appreciate that, sir. Here you go. I'm going to play this clip.
It's starting to rain money! The chat is on fire! Thank you to all our supporters. Much love and respect to all the audience. Let's fucking go!
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm just still done with the drama. And I don't even give a fuck about any of that shit anymore, right? I'm not chasing anybody's community. I actually just want to get rid of all the people that are just looking for drama and looking for, me to talk shit about somebody and just find any sort of excuse to be just to be a fucking dickhead, right? I'm just done with it, man. I think I've reached a level of maturity that I'm not even gonna fucking tolerate that anymore. It's like I'm elsewhere. I'm going somewhere. I don't give a fuck about whatever people's audience. That's the whole point. It's like it's not a question of paying out. It's a question of me doing what I'm here to do. I'm here to fucking transmit a message. I'm here to teach people how to read these freaking stories allegorically, find the truth, do the inner work, and focus on raising those chakras, man, and opening up those freaking 7 candlesticks, right? This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And I've been told over and over again in the past, just do you, OTW. Forget about the rest. I'd rather see you just sit there and do your own presentations than entertain all of these fucking retards and weirdos out here and trauma-based individuals that don't even have any respect for themselves. I think I'm going to start having a little bit more respect for myself and stop entertaining the nonsense. This is my journey. I decide what happens in this journey. I'm done letting other people influence who and what I want to be. I am building this world. This is my world. I'm going to do what I find fit for it. It's that simple. Nobody will ever see life through my eyes. Nobody will ever hear things through my ears. Nobody will ever express the things that I express through either music or my vocal cords. So I guess the only actual real person that's living this life is me. So why should I let anyone, dictate what the hell I should be doing in my life, right? It's just I think it's just natural, And I'm not the only one who took time out for themselves to heal either their spiritual self or their physical self, And lately I've been doing the work physically. I've been consuming pretty much only good stuff. Now I need to focus more on the smoking. And, I'm now 3 weeks in, almost going on a month now of not consuming any monster drinks. I'm doing the work necessary to cleanse the body so I can raise that chrism and reach a higher state of consciousness, where I'm going to be leaving the world behind. That is that simple. I'm going to be leaving the world behind. The material and selfish, superficial world that everybody likes to freaking take a bath in as I'm done with it. I'm going to go into the uncomfortable inner space of chaos and travel down into the underworld and travel back up through my chakras and reach absolute enlightenment, which will actually bring me probably to the next level when it comes to creating content out here, right? I'm going to reach my full potential, and I don't need anybody out here to help me do that. I think I can do it all on my own, and I believe it's the same thing for all of you. And yes, I did drama for years, but I was also caught up in my root chakra and didn't realize that I was actually in hell, just like in the movie, was it with Robin Williams? That's a good movie. It's When Dreams May Come, Where Dreams May Come, or something like that. That's the name of the movie. In this movie, the guy's wife ends up in hell and everything, but she doesn't realize that she's in hell, right? So that's it. But say, her husband, sacrificed being in heaven to go get her. Well, I see all that as an allegorical thing. I see the higher self reaching down to the lower self and giving the lower self a hand back up, right? So this is how I'm seeing my journey right now, where my higher self is sending me signals and telling me it's time to get out of that negative space and enter into a space of maturity, being a little bit more serious, maybe even a little bit more professional when it comes to my broadcasts, and doing the standalone creator, right? instead of just doing all these panels all the time. Because I mean, after 3 years of paneling, it's just redundant and pretty much recognizes everybody's patterns. And when I see these patterns surface over and over again, I get bored. My mind isn't stimulated anymore. I don't get fucking inspired anymore. I end up in my freaking lower root chakra. That's where I end up, and I'm done with that. I'm done spending time in that chakra. I think I've explored that chakra fully, man. I know it by heart. It's like I'm good. I think I can move up to the next step, right? That's what I see. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. See? It doesn't matter to me. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Well, thank you for the positive comments. I really appreciate that. This is the type of people I want to actually have in my chat, right? People are here to support and move forward in this new path that this whole channel is taking, right? I'm actually going to take this channel somewhere. I've done enough losing in the past 3 years to pretty much know how not to lose, right? When it comes to failing, pretty much not losing, but more or less failing. So I've failed a lot in the past 3 years. Oh yeah, I have, right? And yes, I've made certain amounts of money. It's been nice, but I'm also willing to sacrifice that money to do something bigger and better with my channel, right? Which is allegorical decodes. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm not going to stop because this is actually where I'm passionate. This is where, that's where I shine, right? I shine in that area. Why? Because I believe God has lifted the veil and given me the ability to see these things in these fairy tales, folk tales, fables, scripture, even in movies. I'll be decoding movies. I'm be doing shit that I should have been doing since I've been on this freaking journey, right? And now I actually started out doing that, and I, for some reason, got dragged into all of this drama. Man, but I needed it. I absolutely needed it because I guess, that's what it means when you drop down into that well, right? That's what I needed. I needed to be in that root chakra for so long to end up realizing that I was like freaking unaware of self, man. I wasn't aware of myself, and now I have the mirror everywhere in front of me. It's all there. You are all a reflection of who and what I am. So it's up to me to decide what part of myself I want to actually bring up to the top, right? And I don't believe that the parts of myself that are rooted down into the and I keep forgetting the name of the chakra, so I just keep saying root chakra. I believe that that's it. It's like I'm now starting to recognize myself stuck in that pattern, and I want to elevate above that pattern. I don't want to stay stuck. The definition of insanity, which we've heard over and over out here as an echo chamber, is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result, right? So now I'm actually effectuating that change, and now I am actually expecting a different result, right? Well, I'm expecting a different following. I'm expecting a whole bunch of different things, right? I'm expecting to really move on this journey and have the real support, right? The same type of support that y'all other channels have, right? Because I believe that you guys might enjoy this channel. You might enjoy watching the show because it's has a lot of variety. And I'm not saying that I won't entertain the chaos, but in the sense of control, I'll do it in a controlled environment. So that doesn't mean that I won't be reviewing and commenting on videos like I used to do, but I might take it from a more of a spiritual angle, right? Instead of decoding these things psychologically, I think I'm going to decode it more or less spiritually. When it comes to the chakras, spinal fluid, the whole thing, it's going to keep that ball rolling. That's what I'm going to do. But I do appreciate all of the people that were a part of my journey, right? I appreciate every single person that passed through, and I recognize all of the ones that were there to, help establish this channel, which, one of them is Paul Enslaved, which I have high regards and high respect for. And I have nothing bad to say about the man. He's a very intelligent man. He's very spiritually inclined. And but he's doing his thing, and and I'm just gonna follow suit. I'm gonna do like him. I'm gonna do my thing, right? He doesn't entertain the drama anymore. He doesn't have all of these weird people on his show because he doesn't need them. He can stand alone and do his job and not have to depend upon anything else but himself, which is pretty much where the direction I'm heading in, right? That's what I want to do. I want to be able to handle everything on my own and not have to depend on panelists or outside, some outside third party thing to help me do that, right? So, yeah, that's about it. So, look, I'm gonna offer to drop the link one more time, and if you guys are wanting to join, it's up to you. Keep it respectful. And we got 42 people watching. That is awesome. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much for being here right now and giving me some of that time and energy and attention. Also, words that have been used over and over again because they literally come from another creator, right? And I'm also starting to recognize these patterned phrases, that we use over and over again. So I guess that is kind of like, I understand because it's part of the human condition, right? We kind of like absorb things that we hear and we tend to reuse those expressions, right? And, I admit I'm doing it too. And, but I have to give props to the originator, right? I mean, Paul has that grand influence, and I've learned a lot from the man. He's a very good man. I think you are doing the same as others out here already been working towards at the same time. If you allow those who keep bringing drama, then you are responsible for it. So you must choose wisely. I agree. Right. Well, I think it's, in the sense, like when you talk about drama, is like, if people have grievances, with each other, I guess I wouldn't mind moderating these interactions. But besides that, I don't want really to be a part of the drama in essence, right? I don't want to be involved. I don't want people to want me to take sides anymore. I'm done with it. I'm on OTW's side, because that's the best side to be on. It's my side, right? You might say that's selfish, but hey, like I said before, I'm the only one living this life. You guys aren't living it for me. Well, there's going to be a lot more of that talk, Jeeps, around these parts. The Chrism Talk is pretty much, so I'll start a talk show. It's going to go to the Chrism Talk. Yeah, there are sides, you tell me. There are sides. There's the left and the right side, dude. There are sides. It's absolutely it's just like unavoidable. You can't get around it, man. Right? The only way is to not choose a side. You choose the middle path. So you don't, middle path is choosing nothing. That's what it is. It's just being. No, you're not. You tell me. I think you have the potential. You're a smart guy. I think you have the potential. You're also a musician. You should stop downplaying yourself like that, man. Right? That's not how you succeed in your life. That's not how I've succeeded in my life, by downplaying myself and not recognizing how much of a valuable person I am in this world, right? It's like you have to find yourself valuable for yourself, man. And when I see everything that I'm able and capable of doing for myself, this is where I find my own value, right? I don't need to be valuable for the rest of the world. All I need to do is be valuable in my life. That's what's important. You understand? I hope you guys understand. All right, so we do have a guest backstage. There we go. I mean, TML just decided to show up. Came to save the broadcast. Says, I can't let this end right away, man. This is too good. All right, everybody, welcome TML. What's up, good sir?
What's popping, man? Blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Doing the inner work, man.
Yeah, it's good. That's what's required. And,
Absolutely.
the sanctity of faith, the sanctity of honor, the sanctity of love, right? The sanctity of nature. Definitely. We need to uphold those things.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It's also, what helped a lot in this process was acquiring the new dog that you hear in the background right now.
Yeah, that's why they call me the sanctity machine.
Okay, Jack, what do you want? Come here. Come on. He doesn't even want to get off the chair. What is it you want? He's just sitting there whining, and I don't know what's wrong with him. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the presentation? Were you present when I did the Alice in Wonderland breakdown?
I missed it because of Hanko Flamio. He's on the loop since yesterday, accusing me of various things. So I just went, I went in on him again. All right. I don't know if it was useful, but yeah, I missed the presentation. But yeah, Alice in Wonderland is a deep subject.
Actually, I only got through chapter 1. Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this is a really big story. So I guess I'm going to be pulling up chapter 2 most likely tomorrow. Oh no, not tomorrow. Maybe Friday. Tomorrow is going to be the We Laugh at Anything podcast with my daughter. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah,
So,
Lewis Carroll, he was an interesting dude. I think his real name was Charles Dodgson, right? And Lewis Carroll was only his pen name, right?
Okay.
When he composed this work, he was actually a math tutor, right?
Okay.
And he created his own logical puzzles, right? So he was actually pretty astute in terms of mathematics. He focused on things like number theory and logic. So he was extremely astute in the area of mathematics for his time. If you look at his logical puzzles, he wrote a poem, commenting on Achilles and the turtle, Achilles and the tortoise, right? Achilles riding on a tortoise, right? I'm referring to one of Zeno's paradoxes, right? Zeno was a pre-Socratic thinker,
Okay.
right? That talked about these logical contradictions and impossibilities, right?
Right.
Yeah. So one of the ideas he said is that nothing moves because in order for something to get somewhere, it would have to go halfway the distance and then halfway that distance and then halfway that distance. So he said it would never really get there because if you go half of a half of a half of a half of a half, you don't get anywhere.
Right. I get that. Yeah.
So he said in math, moving forward is almost like going backwards, right? Once you're counting, right? Through space and time, through movement, right? Going forward is going backwards, right? So it's this great logical puzzle.
That's true, because when you look at a reel, if you speed up a reel fast enough, it ends up, or it's the same thing with a fan. You've seen it turn, and when it turns fast enough and you're looking at it, it seems like it's actually going backwards when you're, through perception. Right. And it's the same thing through film. When you're filming, let's say you'd film a car passing by. If you would times that by 1,000, the car would be going so fast in the image that the image would just actually look like a still image, which I got that from the movie Lucy at the beginning of the presentation of Morgan Freeman, right? When he's presenting time and how it works. So in essence, when he says that, he's literally telling us that time is actually infinite, that there is no real time.
Right. Right. And then that's the thing is the rabbit never really gets there. right? He's like going but never really arriving to his destination, right? So it's like he's late, right? So this is the thing, is like, it's a constant reference to time,
Yes,
and
and
then yeah.
I think it also references that it's telling us that God is in the present moment, right? And that he's always late because he's running after time. He's late. He's got to get back in time. Just like the song, Getting Back in Time, or Back to the Future, when they go back in time. It's not going back to the past. It's getting back into the present moment. That's what that phrase actually means, getting back in time. Not going back in time, but getting back in the present moment. That's where God lives. That's where he's actually creating in every given moment. In every time that you breathe, and everything that happens in real time is actually God creating everything in real time. Hence, there is no future and there is no past, because God is always creating in the present moment, every second.
Yeah, spoken like a true champion. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, God is here now. God is here in every moment. God's creation isn't a finished product, that just turns off. Yeah, he's creating as we speak. So yeah, God is in every part of his creation. So yeah, it's the concept of immanence, right? Opposed to transcendence, right? That God is above reality. Right. Of course, pantheism and panentheism sort of refutes that position by saying either God is within nature or God is all of nature. Right. God is in all of nature. Right. So instead of, believing in a sort of dualism or a transcendental framework, right, we could deal in pantheism or panentheism, right, which is a much more simpler idea. Right. That
Right.
God is one, God is unique, and God is part of all of existence.
This is where I lean towards, right? Where God is like the force that's creating everything in real time, and the fact that I would not lean towards the fact that they say that God is in nature, because and the reason being is I don't think that God can be his creation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why
I like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
he can't be his creation, because he's creating creation. He's not. He
Right.
doesn't have time to experience it. That's why we're here. We're here to fulfill that journey for him. We're here to experience life, not God. God is already creating it for us to experience it. So hence why he's a little bit ahead of time in time than we are, because he obviously has to create everything before we are able to perceive it, right? So we actually believe that whatever we're seeing is what we would call reality. But actually, it's just God projecting your journey ahead of you in just a couple of milliseconds in advance. Doesn't even need to be a minute in advance, just a millisecond, right? For him, a millisecond is eternity. But for us, a millisecond, we don't even see it go by.
Yeah, I've been going through like successive portals of realization of God, right? So I've been
Right.
going from like low to high, right? And I've
Okay.
been presenting 6 quotes as I do it, right? So it's pretty interesting, right? I go with the first one, right? The root of man is man himself, right? Which is Karl Marx, and then I go to the second one, that man is the measure of all things, right? By Protagoras. Right. Then I go to the third one. Man is made in the image of God. Right.
Right.
And then I go to the fourth one. That in order for man to become like God, God had to become like man. Saint Athanasius. Right. Then I go even
Yeah.
higher.
Makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then I go even higher, and I say like is only understood by like. Right. To understand God is to become like God. Right, from the Hermetic corpus. And then
I
finally
agree.
the top one, which is from the Mundaka Upanishad, right? It says those who to understand God is to be like God.
So
Right.
you know what that says. In other words, create in every given moment. Do what God is doing.
It's linking creativity to the human essence and to our
Yeah.
spiritual nature. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I have a guest backstage. Let's bring Chris Rasta, ladies and gentlemen, the healing comedic. Welcome to the show, brother.
Great topic. Great topic, guys. Good to see you both.
Yeah, blessings. Yeah.
Blessings, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm high as fuck right now, for real.
I
Real
actually
talk.
got it all rolled up and ready to spark. But first I gotta evacuate some liquids. Just to be comfortable, right?
Yeah, I got that strawberry. I love that shit. Strawberry cough type of stuff. That's my favorite. This is the greatest of all time. Greatest strain. Golden Goat, strawberry cough. 2 favorite strains of all time, man.
I've got right now Purple Kush that I grew myself.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Kush is always great. Kush from India. You know, you gotta love Kush because that's the genetics that are from my people's. You know, like where my where my genetics are from. You know, the Hindu Kush mountains.
TML Kush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we from Afghanistan. We from northern Pakistan, so we like that shit.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, it smells freaking great, right? I love Kush, man. It's like I think it's 2 different strands. One of them is a little bit more fruity. One of them is Purple Kush, and the other one I can't remember what it's called. But my friend told me I'm gonna have to ask him again what it is. But he knows them like by heart, man. He can tell. You look at it and say, okay, that's that strand. You know, he's like, he just knows them by heart for some reason.
Yeah, like the coffee shit, right? Like coffee is actually a fruit that come from Ethiopia, right? So it grew there as a landrace strain. And the Ethiopian warriors, they used to cover it in butter and then eat the fruit and then go to war and shit, right? But the thing is that, you know, the beans of the fruit, right? Those were transported to Yemen, right? And that's where they created coffee and shit, right? So coffee comes from Yemen, but it comes from a plant that's from Ethiopia, just like apples are from Kazakhstan. Right. So they grow wild in the forests of Kazakhstan. So every plant has a land race strain where it's actually derives from. So, cannabis, the cannabis plant, its oldest genetics are from India, the Hindu Kush mountains. Right. So they call it Kush. Right. It's pretty interesting stuff. Right. That the genetics of the plant itself. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and also how it's like so connected with like our biology as well. I find that fascinating, man. Like when you have cannabinoids in your I fucking Chris, you're the best one to talk about this shit. You know a lot about this
Endocannabinoid.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's
ECS, the endocannabinoid system. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's fucking bananas.
That's
You have
just wild.
endogenous. Yeah, you have endogenous cannabinoids that your body produces, like 2-AG and anandamide is another one. You know, ananda. The word ananda in Sanskrit, it means bliss. Sat Chit Ananda, knowledge, consciousness, bliss. Right. So anandamide is the chemical. It controls your mood and your appetite. And guess what? Cannabinoids, this is an endocannabinoid, but it can be regulated by the exogenous cannabinoids from the plant, right? Because they antagonize the receptors to cause it to create this endogenous cannabinoid, right? So it's fascinating stuff.
You know, our blood, our bones, and our DNA actually are built with that. We're more closer to a mushroom than own plant. So it's pretty trippy. But if you check out Blue Dream, it's also a girl's aphrodisiac. And I love the Hindu Kush, man. That's like old school. I remember there was a time when Blue Dream, Green Crack, Sour Diesel, OG, Hindu Kush, a bunch of other different Kushes, they all got played out. Now I miss those kind of things, you know. So, but you guys were on a great subject. Very smart.
Yeah. There was actually the doctor who discovered the cannabinoids. He's from Israel, right? It's a researcher in Israel that discovered it. You know, and cannabis has been medicinal in Israel for a very long time, and that might be because they thought it was part of the ancient ceremonies, right? So they started doing research on the plant itself, right? So it's interesting. But yeah, endocannabinoid system, right? Actually, the 2-AG is kind of like a neuroprotectant, right? I think CBD is kind of like that too, right? So it's kind of like interesting, right? How CBD and THC, they have a sort of cross relationship. They have a synergistic relationship between those two chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
that's what
beautiful
I've
plant.
heard anyway. I'm not too knowledgeable about it because I haven't,
Yeah,
I've
if you
done any
study,
research on it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and
yeah, if you study the molecular structure of the cannabis, it's actually, I mean, on a molecular structure, it's very unique. You know, tetrahydrocannabinol. It's a tetral structure, of the molecules, right?
Have you ever heard of the two dog star? Like the shape of the dog's ears is like the shape of the leaf.
Yeah.
That's from Pernet. That's from ancient Pernet Kemet teachings, philosophy.
wow, I'm gonna have to look that up. What is the
Yep.
name?
I guess it's the two dog star. It talks about the plant that is like the two dog star, and the two dogs' ears is like the shape of the leaf.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I'm looking
dog
it up
star.
right now.
Serious. Right. Oh. Yeah, serious. I think it's like Canis minor, right? I think Canis major is the bear thing, or I'm not really an astrology guy, I know, but you guys are
Yeah,
better at that than me, honestly.
my buddy, he was in the Emperor Wears No Clothes. We had the rights to the handicap getting beat up by the cop in the wheelchair, but he passed away just from the vaccine, and or got like the something booster or something like that. And then next thing you know, he was so intelligent, but he had Pernet Kemet, and he had the divinesmoke.com, and that's where we actually collabed with northern New Mexico Navajo Indians to where we
Right.
could have ayahuasca, peyote. But those guys are so intelligent. I don't really know too much about that. It just reminds me of him. So
Well,
sorry.
it says here, cannabis is like the two dog. It says refers to the indigenous Dogon people of Mali, who in their mythology associated the star Sirius, the dog star, with the origin of the cannabis plant. Wow. Okay. The core idea is rooted in Dogon cosmology, which possesses remarkable, accurate, ancient knowledge of the Sirius star system, okay? Specifically, the existence and properties of Sirius B, a white dwarf star invisible to the naked eye. Wow, this is good stuff.
That shit's alien, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Good
saying
stuff.
that. Well, they're saying a cannabis seed and a spore of a mushroom are the only two things that can travel wherever. If
Right.
there
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Yeah, that it's so electron dense and shit. Dude, they could make like fucking fenders for cars out of hemp and shit. It's crazy shit, bro. Like it's super strong material, right? It's super strong on a molecular level. It's super powerful.
We should start making spaceships made of seeds.
Right,
Well,
they
what-
start bouncing off of the planets like ping pong balls and shit, dude. It's fucking crazy. You can it's just like they're like indestructible and shit.
have you guys seen the mushroom when they plug stuff into the mushroom? It plays music or
Yeah, I
also-
did see that. Yeah, I did see. No, that's trippy because
Really?
the shit it produces sounds motherfucking harmonious and shit, bro. Like
Mhm.
Really?
tripped out. Yeah.
Mushrooms. Oh, I gotta look this up, guys.
Yeah.
See?
Mushrooms produce music. It's a fucking trip. You gotta watch it.
All right,
Awesome.
hold on. I'm gonna check that out. That's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's sick,
interesting.
yeah.
That's out of this world. That's what I like. man.
sometimes when you eat them motherfuckers, you start hearing this fucking music, man. You sit alone and shit. You start do. You start getting like fucking tripped out and shit. Like I swear to God.
All right. Let me see if we find something. No, that's kind of stupid there. I've probably found some sort of AI thing.
Yeah,
What's it-
psilocybin is just a phosphorylized version of dimethyltryptamine, but it's perfectly engineered for human metabolism. I mean, right? It's insane, right? It works on the same receptors, I mean, as the tryptamine, the whole serotonergic nervous system. Right? They discovered the serotonergic nervous system through use of psychedelics.
Well, and did you see the sorry, that's the mushroom that they just made like a computer chip out of, and then maybe our ancient ancestors did the same thing with the mushroom through the computer chip. It's
Right.
true.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this shit sends electrical signals through
Holy
the tree.
shit, dude. That's wild. I just heard what it's doing, man. That's crazy shit.
Yeah, it's wild.
That sounds like the sound like have you seen the movie Close Encounter with the Third Kind?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Dude,
that shit
it
sounds better
sounds
than AI music, honestly. I'm like, damn, man, this is a sick beat, Mushroom. Like,
this is wild. Hold on a
That's
second.
crazy.
Holy dude, guys, this is wild, man. Check this out.
like they're dialing motherfuckers up. That shit sound like a fax machine.
Dude,
They're dialing motherfuckers up, bro.
dude, they're talking to each other.
They're on speed dial. They got alien motherfuckers on speed dial.
It sounds so much like they're communicating with each other, bro.
Like a
Yeah.
language.
Like
yes,
whale.
it sounds like
It
a
sound
language.
whale shit. Yo, the whales. Yo, play whale song after this. I guarantee it's fucking identical, man. They
Well-
need to
well,
hook up the whale song to the mushroom beat, bro. Like,
When they say on the movie Avatar, underneath the tree of life, the mushroom was so vibrant. It's such a vibrant vibration that it's talking to everything. And it talks and it communicates with the trees communicate with the animals, and the animals are supposed to connect with us. It's really trip.
That is
yeah, that's actually real
wild, bro.
facts. Yeah, yeah. The
That
bees
is
are
freaking
parasitized by
crazy.
by a fungus. Like almost all insects on Earth are parasitized by a fungus. So like controls the insect minds. It caused them to go to like different plants and shit. Like it's like it sends electronic signals through the fucking trees and shit. You know, it has an extracellular digestive system. You know, it like it eats shit with its fucking skin. And like, it's fucking crazy. I mean, it's some wild shit. You mean, it's tripped out. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me play this. Dude, that's how they got freaking weird sounds for Twilight Zone and all these like psychedelic movies that they make. Now you're starting to know where the hell they got all those sound effects from.
But as you said, but you brought it to my attention. It's almost like language, bro, a communication. It's nuts. Almost like when you go into a deep realm of a high dose psychedelic, you're seeing this and you're hearing stuff like this, like patterns and this different realm. But it's amazing how a mushroom is communicating with us through that.
I
Yeah.
bet there's a cave underground where they're putting on like a symphony like this, bro. I swear. to
Dude,
God.
I think they probably are using the same language to make computers.
Wow. So do you think if they plugged into a couple different mushrooms, like the machine lies just said, like maybe put in different mushrooms and you get a different beat or a different sound, or is it all going to be the same communication? Different mushroom, different sound, same mushroom, same sound.
And then
I don't know.
and then compare it to whale song and bird song and shit, right? And see if it like it has the same pattern and shit, right? Like that'd be crazy, right?
Oh,
If it-
yeah, just
if it
by
has a-
listening to the birds sing in the morning, dude.
Right.
I'm willing to bet that it has the same type of flow
getting-
to it.
Yeah, they're getting psyoped by the mushrooms, like they're causing them to sing shit. Dude. Right? Like they're getting like fucking.
MK Ultra by the mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what happens if we slow it down.
I'm tripping balls just listening to that. Is that happening to you guys? I'm starting to get.
I'm
goosebumps.
like tripping a bit. Yeah, that's
I'm
why I
starting
want
to
to
get,
slow
like,
it down and see what
goosebumps.
happens.
Yeah.
Check this out.
That's awesome. It's the vibration. It's like a vibration. A high frequency vibration. Jen was reading my mind.
Fucking hell, bro. Where are we? Where the fuck are we? Fucking alien world. Out of this world.
This is crazy shit, dude. If you listen to it when in slow motion like that, it sounds like the bowls. The Hindu bowls. Those are bowls that you turn like the little rod inside, and they resonate at a certain tone. It reminds me of that. It's like I'm starting to think music and all of it actually comes from these mushrooms, probably. Say, because I recognize a symphony. There's a symphony going on there, violins and everything. Mozart, Beethoven. These guys probably ate copious amounts of these mushrooms.
Yeah, speed that shit up to 2 and see if it sounds like techno music. You know what I mean?
All right, that's a good idea. Do the complete opposite. Yeah. Oh, it's actually, I can bring it up to 4 actually.
What the fuck is that?
It's a new function on the. Yeah, I guess for some people, a lot of people listen to it in 2x speed, and probably it's slow for them at one point, so they bring it up to 4. I mean, Sean, Pioneer Power listens to freaking broadcasts in double speed. And for him, it's kind of like he understands it all, right? It's normal speed for him.
Holy moly.
All right, so here it goes at 4 times the speed of a normal. Sounds like a Mario Brothers stage, bro.
Yeah, I feel like becoming like a crazy monkey, like listening to this shit. Like this is what the monkeys were like eating. Like they were like hearing this shit,
or R2D2 or something like that.
Oh, R2D2, dude. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh my god, that's fucking R2D2 guy. I'm tripping my life.
Me too, because for you to play it slow and then to play it fast, that's smart.
Dude, that's literally where they got fucking R2D2's freaking language. It's an actual language that exists for real. This is wild.
Mm-hmm. And the dark side with the light, and just so many different deep realms.
Yeah, and look at the Terrence McKenna theory. He literally said the monkeys ate the mushrooms and it gave them motherfucking language and shit, bro. Like that's literally the theory and shit.
When I did 31 grams, because I opened a mushroom and cannabis church up in Oakland, California, and next thing you know, I did 31 grams, and it's all recorded, and I was hitting on my chest and hitting on my legs, and I had 2 sitters. There was always a girl and a boy sitter, but I said, hey, he's like, why were you hitting on your chest and everything? I'm like, dude, I ate so much. I was in the soil, and so there was a major disaster. So a couple of chimpanzees, monkeys, gorillas, whatever, all migrated because there's only a couple left of each tribe. So we saw some flies or something, some bugs, went over to the pile of bugs, started eating the bugs, but underneath it was the mushroom. We had an empty stomach, so I was actually in the soil. I kept getting picked on because I was the only white monkey or gorilla in the realm. Everyone else is dark, big, and everything. I was just like a little guy. And next thing you know, one monkey gave one monkey or ape mushroom. A language came, then art, and then like just different things. And he's like, you were actually communicating with the monkeys. But then also I sat for DMX's one of his managers and other people from Harvard, Berkeley's. I sat for over 15 people. And there would be people throwing up, beautiful women, handsome men, ugly, handsome, whatever. And I looked at my business partner and said, why are we doing this, dude? This is scary. And then all of a sudden, when people would come out of these high dose journeys, they would be a whole nother person. So I would go to the Oakland classes for psychedelics and to the events and speak and all this stuff. And the mushroom, I wanted to hit like 50 to 100 grams. There was one dude, he did over 112 grams in a tea. It was amazing.
Dude, it's just like a Short Circuit. Johnny Five. Remember that movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing. Sounding like that too, man. Listen to that. And you know what else it sounds like? It sounds like something out of Star Trek too. Not too sure when or where in the series, but it was like I remember hearing this sound in one of those episodes where they were next to a computer, that was able to answer back. It was and another thing I noticed about
the first cell phone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, OT.
R2D2, dude. It looks like a mushroom. It's got the white body and the mushroom top, right? It's right. Toadstool.
That's true.
It's Toadstool from Mario Brothers, right?
And then when you hit, isn't it weird when you hit that block, you get the mushroom, and then it gives you superpowers?
Right. Yeah,
Sorry.
My dog is kind of like busy bothering me right now. I can't, it's. I can't help but understand because the dog is young. It wants to play. So it's kind of tad annoying for a broadcast anyway. Oh, you see what happened? He touched it and it kind of changed tone. It was like it interrupted the whole look. Listen to this. Oh, that was in super speed. Okay, hold on a second. Damn it. Fuck. Watch what happens when he touches it. Wow. Dude, that sounded like Chinese bells. Anyway, I don't know if you guys ever heard those bells, but yeah, that sounded like that, man. That's wild.
I was thinking that in Japanese.
Japanese. Okay, well, I was like, I don't know what they're called, so I call them by what I think the culture is. But anyway.
Yeah, or Asian or whatever. Sorry, I'm not that intelligent. I'm just a little.
Yeah, neither am I.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
It's all good. All right, we got Dominico backstage. Let's welcome Dominic.
Hey, Patrick.
What's up, Dom?
Just chilling with you guys. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Mohammed. How you doing? And trying to think who the other person is. Anyway, hi.
Greetings, buddy.
What do you think about these mushrooms doing all those sounds?
On a micro level? Or are you trying to say that they put them all on this machine, I guess?
Well, it seems to me like they kind of plugged it into a tone generator. And, every single little clip on there is, I imagine, detecting. I guess they must be sensors or something, right? It's a pretty wild setup, in my opinion. It's pretty pretty nuts. All right. I guess we can listen to some more. It's almost done. Yeah, it could have also been all manufactured. Who knows? That might not even be real, right? If we keep an open mind about this, this could just be fabricated, and it could just like easily be just some sort of
Mechanical trick.
right, some sort of magician's trick, right? To have you believe that the mushrooms are actually talking to each other or something. Who knows? Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.
Because they did have a lot of switches on that sound system that they had there.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe they were manipulating the sounds, or maybe a sound. Right? So who knows? Right?
Or maybe they were already passing a tone through one end, and maybe the mushrooms do have some sort of electrical current, which it's able to, all depending on the sizes of the mushrooms, probably convert the tone from one sound to another.
They could be they could be heightening it. I know they've done studies, take it for what it is, where plants will communicate or send signals, so certain types of insects will come to them or repel. So I can't see why that would be no different.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, because I do believe that the trees communicate with the birds as well. For some, I have like that feeling sometimes because, and I think the trees also communicate with the wind. So if that's crazy enough to think about,
Yeah.
I think the trees use the wind, or they to communicate with the other trees, kind of.
Well, there wouldn't be wind if there weren't like trees, or like it's causing the movement of the wind because it's like moving the wind by how it like goes through the trees. Like it either resists or moves through them.
Well, it's like some of the whales or some that travel thousands and thousands of miles once a year to go eat, or it's like the snakes or something that
Like
go
mating
under.
season, right? They all go at a particular place to mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have to remember there's the concept of the breath of life. It's everywhere. So whether fire needs it, skinny water in this case, which is air, and then we could talk about the wind as you were talking, Muhammad. It's air. When you're in a house that's burning down, it's trying to consume the same thing that you need, which is air. So again, we're using Wi-Fi now. So how does that really work? Like, how are we able to send messages to each other with this technology? It could literally be what people call telepathic, but.
Right. Like air and space are one thing, just as fire and earth are one thing. We just see it as two different aspects.
One fuels the other. This is where the negative energy fuels the what we'll call the positive energy.
Right, it's a battery.
This is why I think the trees and plant life actually call upon the rain. For I might be wrong. Maybe I think Jack doesn't agree with me.
Yeah, the mushrooms create the forest fires, right?
Well, and it's like a lot of animals know when a storm's coming or earthquake. Dogs can feel earthquakes and stuff. So it's trip.
Yeah, here's a line from the Phaedrus. It says the priests of the temple of Zeus at Dodona say that the first prophecies were the words of an oak. Everyone who lived at that time, not being as wise as you young ones are today, found it rewarding enough in their simplicity to listen to an oak or even a stone, so long as it was telling the truth.
Huh. The oak would be, I guess, an allegory for the tree of life, which I believe is probably the colostrum, right? The tree-like organ in the brain. And
right, I saw that in the Jack and the Beanstalk presentation. Yeah, that's one I did see, yeah.
Yeah, and what was the other thing you mentioned? Of the tree and the stone, which would be the philosopher's stone, or maybe the pineal gland, right? The rock that kills the giant. The stone that David throws to kill the giant, which is another allegory for it's the same allegory as Jack and the Beanstalk. The story of, David and Goliath is Jack and the Beanstalk and the ogre. It's the same story.
True.
Yeah, I told you guys, I'm out here to teach you things and reveal the truth in all of these little folk tales, fairy tales, scripture, wherever it lies. It's all there. It's just waiting to be uncovered. Yeah. Why are you so annoying? He keeps whining. I don't know why. I bring him out like 30 times a day. I don't know what else he needs. He's got food, water, give him attention. It's like as if he just wants me to cuddle him or take him in my arms or something. I think the owners that were kind of like bringing him to term, he's like 2 months old. I think they kind of like they spoiled him. This is what I'm thinking. He got spoiled while he was there.
Define spoil.
Probably always being held in their hand because there were like multiple people helping out. I guess it's like, probably they were sleeping with them and I don't know what else they were doing. It's like they always probably had them. It's like when you're spoiling a baby and you always have the baby in your arms, right? And as soon as you put the baby down, it starts crying because it wants to be in your arms, right? So this is how I feel. It's the same feeling.
So you're using the word spoil. Could it also be nurturing? Could somebody be nurturing the baby? Or in this case, maybe your dog needs to be nurturing. And
Well, you might
patience.
be right. You might be right because now it's no longer with the mother, right? So you might be right there.
Well, we do get affected by different energy shifts. So there is a lot of energy shifting going on again today. So maybe the animal, in this case, what you call a dog, is being affected by it.
He's all right now. He's lying beside me.
He probably just wants you to acknowledge him.
Yeah, we're always acknowledging him. That's the thing. It's like he's very attention grabbing and very seemingly very dependent on human affection. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I guess I'm not as affectionate as I thought I could be. I guess I got it. Yeah.
Sounds like the panel verse. It sounds like the dog is mimicking what a lot of people do, attention seeking.
Yeah, he's trolling me right now. Oh my God. My own dog is teaching me about the panel verse. Can you imagine that?
Animals do teach us a lot, and they don't even have to speak that many words.
Yeah, and I much appreciate we got 57 people in the house right now. Hit the like button and share this out. Thank you for being here. Especially leave a comment in the description on, under comment. That helps with the algo, I've heard. Yeah, I'm going to have to thank our guests as well. We have the Machine Lies. We have Chris Rasta from Jahealing Comedic and Mr. Dominic Tarsini, Mr. Dominico on screen with us right now. Much thanks to you gentlemen for participating in the broadcast. I believe that people don't get acknowledged often, often enough. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to be doing more.
Blessings for opening the space. Yeah, and all you up there with that can just talk like men and not yell over one another or talk shit or disagree with respectful disagreements.
Agreed.
As you agree. See how we perpetuate it. You know what I mean? Like most people's triggers isn't in the negative connotation. It's just actually in the positive one. Once you accept the sweet part, you have to actually tolerate or at least accept the sour parts. So if people say, Dom, I'm going to just observe things, then you're not going to get caught up in agreeing or disagreeing with each other.
Right, which is pretty much the position that I've been taking lately, where I don't feel that I need to be compelled to either take any sort of position when it comes to the Panelverse, right? Especially now that the Panelverse has been, kind of like shooken up from higher levels of YouTube, right?
How so? The bigger channels are being shaken up a little bit.
No, we're being shooken up by the bigger channels, is what I'm seeing.
It's not,
I'm not.
Oh yeah, but you, TML, you're
We
kind
do
of
it.
like on your own spectrum, right?
Yeah, we do a little different thing, you know. So
Yeah.
so people, you know, it's monkey see, monkey do, and it gets tiring, you know.
Yeah.
it's true. Well, everybody here is using the platform called YouTube, so you're going to always be at their demise. If they choose to say we're going to strike a bunch of channels, they're going to strike a bunch of channels.
Well, and see, and you know, I've never striked anyone's channel or anything, but I disagree a lot with Mitch, but he's been in custody, and I still wish him the best. You know, I think about him almost daily, like, oh, I wonder how he's doing, what his thoughts are, if he's hanging in there. I'm not sitting in there going, oh, I hope he's suffering or this or that. I'm like, man, you know what? I may disagree with him, but I hope that dude's doing the best. I hope he's all right in there, you know, so.
So what did he? Is he doing time now? Is he going? Is he in jail or something?
Yeah, his last I watched when he was getting sentenced, and the deputy took his phone, and he was just sentenced right there. So I believe I was in your chat one day and asking if Mitch got arrested, and somebody in the chat said yes. So, but you know, and if he's still in custody, I hope him the best. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that
well,
sucks.
we got to send out positive thoughts, and you know, we got to send him. I mean, we can set him free, but we all have to agree on it, right? We all have to agree that we have the power to manifest his freedom.
So, question: why would you send him positive thoughts?
Well, you know, first of all,
maybe let me rephrase that. Let's send out positive thoughts into the universe.
Okay, why?
Yeah. Why not?
Why is a discernment question, by the way? No, the reason I'm asking is because maybe that's his learning curves. Who are we to interfere?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's good to send positive vibes, because
That's interfering. By the way, that's interfering.
you know, well, so you have growth and balance. Actually, interfering, no, because you gotta want to. You really want to have more positive than negative, but you also need that negative for the balance, and you also need balance for everything. If you have too much of anything, it's gonna kind of screw anything. It's just like if you partake in too much of anything, you know.
Well,
So
how do we
Yeah,
know?
maybe Dom's right. Maybe it's actually part of his karmic journey.
Could
right?
be. We could be enablers without being aware of it.
yeah, but I just said I wish him the best, just like as if I would want you to do to me. Like if I'm in a spot,
Right.
it doesn't. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna wish him the best. I'm whatever his quest is. I'm not like, oh, take him away from what he's supposed to learn. No, I hope him the best, whatever his quest is.
Yeah, I could take that. I like that.
I'm still asking the why, but to know about something
Might
is
be out
important.
of care.
It could be, but sometimes most people don't realize how indifferent they are. I'm just wondering why now they've chosen to step away from that.
You know what? Anyone that puts their life on the line and goes to court and goes in these dungeons and these dragons, they most of the time go in there alone. Okay, so yes, it is all a learning process from the day you have to wake up and go to court, whatever it is. And I pray he learns what he's supposed to learn out of it. Yes. And I knew it when he continued, but him and I didn't see eye to eye. But I don't wish the negative on nobody. And he's in a dark space, or if he's in a light space, I wish him the best wherever he is.
That's a fun term, by the way, Chris. Eye to eye. Can you literally see through somebody else's eye?
As being one, and we all have a vision to be kind of in the same space, but we're like Care Bears, and we all have, like, one has a rainbow, one has a peace sign, one has a mushroom, one has a bud leaf. That doesn't separate us. Just because we all have a different sign or different calling doesn't make us different. We all leave this place the same, and we all come here the same. So until someone knows the time or day when one of us is going to go, then until then, we all know just what we all know, and that is really nothing.
Okay. Because there is the essence, two things, hence the concept of nothing.
And I know when I was in cells for months and months with murderers, with people that were never getting out, it's just you. And you can sure feel that when you're dark in those dark depths. When Moses fell to the ground in the sand after 40 days and 40 nights and felt like he was helpless, and he woke up to a bunch of women fanning him, bringing him to the village to get water and food, I just hope that regardless what side you are on, I hope
I got-
people have to learn what they got to learn.
I got to ask you now, Chris, because you put it out there.
Yep.
Were you there with Moses?
I'm just saying the greatest
Just
story
asking.
ever told. But this is the greatest story ever told. It's a story.
It is a story. It is a story. I will go with you. It is a story. Now, how can we verify that story? We don't. We can't. We're speculating.
No,
Well,
but see,
unless you correlate it to your own journey, right?
Yeah,
Then you
and-
can verify it.
But that's based on the fact that we're already interpreting how we read that story.
no, because it's like David and Goliath, like OT just said earlier.
Yeah, Moses is also another kind of allegory from what I've seen about the raising of the chrism and the
I'm
staff
trying to
that he
entertain.
uses. Well, what happened to Dominic? Something happened to
I think he
Dominic.
hit the wrong button. He was on a roll there.
Yeah, he was. Damn. Yeah, like the staff is the Moses' staff is actually the representation of the spine, and the burning bush is that tree, the colostrum that I was mentioning earlier. The burning bush, the tree of life. It comes back to the same things because the allegories are so kind of like easy to recognize. It's like it's simple. It's like, okay, yeah, and every time you look at like how it correlates directly to the brain, it makes all of the sense in the world, especially when it talks about the chrism, right? The sacred fluid. Right?
Yeah, I think he's back.
I'm asking because it's not possible to open doors if you ask protection from them, right? Oh, there he goes. He's back. Yeah, you're back.
I guess I got booted out. Somebody didn't want to hear what I have to say.
Hey, don't try that. It's probably the government.
No, it's not the government.
The
Government's
government.
middle tier. They're not even significant. The fact that people spend time on it, they're being distracted. But anyway, when people are actually
agree.
playing this, yeah, well, whether you agree or not, once a person becomes aware, Patrick, you'll know, they'll realize, oh, so I've been full of shit the whole time. Yes, you have. We say concept like my life, you're in it. When people play the near-death experience, you're doing a near transformation. You're going to see what's called the light. But for most people, they get caught up, I'm in this cell. No, you're already in a cell. It's called your body, your meat suit, whatever you want to call it. But you're observing from within outwards. So now, best we could do is not interfere with each other when it comes to putting them in harm's way. Even though most people put themselves in harm's way because we eat foods that aren't healthy for us. We're using technology that's probably not healthy for the body.
Right.
Rich comes back to all good intentions lead straight to hell, or path the way to hell. Because sometimes you might have a good intention, and whatever is being done is actually non-beneficial to the receiving party, right?
Well, this is the thing, is that you affect everyone else. So you're responsible for everyone else, but you don't control how they affect you. Right. So so this is the thing, is like, you're entitled to your actions, but not the fruit of them.
I'm with you on the Muhammad. I think it's erroneous when people say cause and effect. We're in the effect and side effect. Cause would imply that you actually know where language comes from. But when we speak it, we're talking now sounds and frequencies. And that'll affect the liquids in your body. It's not just about communicating with water. It's communicating with blood or gold.
Exactly. So, and hence it actually reverts itself to effect to cause.
Again, that would imply we know what the cause is.
It's a gift. The cause is if you wish positive upon somebody, no matter where they're at, no matter what you feel towards somebody, you're going to get that back. That's why it says pray for your enemies. So when I simply said, I hope he's doing, I hope the best for him, whatever his quest is. I didn't say, hey, I hope the most I'm working out. I didn't say, hey.
And indirectly, what you're doing is also wishing the best for yourself.
That's the gift. That's the gift.
Right.
The gift is for oneself. Hence, you forgive yourself. Now, that other person, unless you know their story, we could take a stab in the dark and say, okay, I don't know who Mitch is, what he stands for, where he's going to go. The fact that he's trying to fight a system tells me that actually he's still caught up in the game. He thinks that he's the birth certificate. He thinks he can fight the system. I said, that would imply that you understand how the system works.
Well, no, it's not fighting the system. The system's actually fighting us.
Who's us?
people like that are trying to stand on the land and soil without any weapons, that try to say without statutes, codes, and ordinances, you cannot serve two gods. You can serve color of law, common law. Which one do you serve? You serve the Almighty, which no one can ever vote over. Do you need someone's permission? Do you need, if you purchase a piece of land that's from the earth, do you feel that you need to keep paying taxes on that day, year in year after year? And if you don't, you feel that some people, El Stapo, have the right to come and take it from you? What if you're
Well,
70?
actually, if I can interject right here, is just the fact that you're purchasing something that no one can sell
Hello?
is a fallacy in itself, in my opinion, right? It's like, what are you buying land for? You can't buy something that's already yours.
And I've known Mitch for 4 years probably, and he is now wherever. And I hope him the best wherever his lessons are. That's all. That's all.
I'm pretty sure you've heard the term letter of the laws.
Of course.
Okay. Humans, what they do is policies. Letters of the laws actually stands for light, air, wind, and space. And it's a boundary over nature, which is wild and untamed. That will never be disturbed. What humans do, they play these policy games. And that's why they have, like, when people say they're here to represent the people, you're talking about languages such as the nobles. That has nothing to do with peasants and citizens. Now, again, those are labels. We give each other labels, like the name Dominic. If I say Dominic opposed to Domenico, that's different energy. So for a lot of folks, what they're doing is humans still think for some reason they're the ruler of this realm. No, they're not even fucking close. Unless you understand how the sun and the moon came to be, let alone what holds the mountains and all that, we're insignificant. They dare not see a sequoia tree or redwood tree and realize how insignificant you are. But for most people, they're living in a glass bubble. And
A citizen is a dead slave, though.
Yes, I'm with you. It is a dead citizen, but it's terminology, and the people that actually keep saying it, whether they're for it or against it, are keeping it alive.
Exactly right. They're keeping that manifestation in existence, right? Because it doesn't exist if no one believes in it.
But it's also
why I was saying earlier that it's not cause and effect. It's actually it's an effect to the cause. You project the effect, and the cause comes after.
It's like Star Wars. No one ever really wins. No side came out like with victory. So in this realm, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like Star Wars. I don't really think the good or bad come out. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, I think they both have to come out together,
right,
as one.
Right.
Well, there's a concept. It's like it's like you playing the game chess. Once you get to that point where you can just observe the game and not worry about the outcome, winning or losing, then you can start seeing the pieces, what the board looks like, and then figure out what is really the hidden hand. See, most people get caught up in right and wrong, which is an erroneous statement. It should be right or left. You're looking for directions. You're not looking for piousness. But anyway, people will say that shit because they don't question the language that comes out of their own mouth. This is why people should be in silent and catching it in thoughts. But once you actually start speaking it out loud, now you're actually playing with frequencies. You're going to actually build a path for yourself. Forget about the written work. That's a cumbersome fucking way of taking information. But again, most people are never going to get into their gut brain. So now once you become aware of those things, then you're truly saying, now I'm willing to question those things. But for most people, they don't. They parrot words. They say things in vain.
Which is
it's like Lao
blasphemy.
Tzu says, he says, the good man is good, right? Because he doesn't know that he's good, right? So he said, the good are good because they're not aware of their own goodness, right? Whereas the bad try to be good and leave something to be done, right? So I think the good will win out because there's less to do if you're good. There's always something to be done. If you evil needs something, right? So.
Well, you have to know what good and evil means at that point. Let me change the word, spiritual material, mind over matter. Once you realize you're living in an evil world, the material world, that's all that is. Most people play this, well, it's wrong, it's right. As the observer in those present moments, how do you decipher if things right or wrong? Now, it might serve you, especially when people are mostly self-absorbed. Now, dare not be rationally selfish, then you can consider others in the equation, but you're still living within that suit. You're never out there. Once you wake up in the morning, you're in the conscious state. You're playing with the senses. At that point, dare not actually question those senses. then you'll realize how much you've been full of shit.
Mm.
Let me change the word. How much you've been dishonest with yourself, saying words like, I know the truth. Really? You understand the energy of truth? Let alone the energy of love? You breathe it in every day. It goes in and out. It's offered to everything. Whether it's an animal, a tree, a human, it's offered to everybody. What most people call love is obligation and duty. But they don't want to challenge those things. What they want to do is do the same rhetoric over and over again that's been fed to them by the media. And if it's not fed by the media, it's fed by some written work. How are you supposed to read the Bible? Left to right, right to left, up and down like a scroll form or a book form? They're not the Quran, let alone the Bhagavad Gita, let alone Buddhism teachings. What are you attached to? Listen to the word attached.
Everyone's not supposed to be seeing everything the same through the same thing though. We could be looking at the same picture, we're gonna totally see something different. So that's just the way it is, man. That will never change.
Well, that's the concept of eye of the beholder or Plato's cave. Again, we're
But
having
you're going in a circle in a circle.
It could be. You can interpret it as
Yeah, it's kind of like the Russian doll.
Yep.
Right? There's always different levels to everything. And when you look at different perspectives, you have, like I mentioned before, so many different versions of yourself that you're not even aware of that exist in somebody's reality. Right?
Well, at that point, we're talking about the beginner's mind. You're within the mind using the brain, beginner's mind. Can you actually throw everything, or at least put aside everything that you've become aware with to entertain other ideals? For a lot of folks, they don't. They already come into a conversation with an argument, think I'm right or wrong. I said, at that point, debate and masturbation should be done alone with the self, which is the program. Hence, know thyself, know thy program. Now, the ego is just the body, the vessel. It is its own consciousness. Dare not people understand, the ones that can, you can communicate with the body. This is where people talk about all the different healing modalities. Did you experience your harm, or did you observe it? Two different things going on. That you can be in an environment and harming yourself unaware.
Well, it's like ripping a muscle when you're working out. There's good rips and bad rips. I mean, that's just the way it is. You could rip your muscle and then feed it protein to rebuild it, or you could, rip your muscle and cry about it and just let it sit there and be a dead arm or leg. It's really up to us what we do with it, and that's the beauty of this life. You have OT has a way it is. Everyone has a different instrument. It's how, if we all focused on the way we played our own instrument rather than how someone else is playing. Like when I was in a band singing, I didn't really care what this dude, as long as he was having his time of his life and doing what he was supposed to do, I'm cool with that. Whether he changed it up a little bit or not, that's really on the people. But when you start affecting someone else's, that's when someone else has the right to. So as long as we stay in our own lane, that 3-foot bubble, then we really, I'm so focused on trying to change me right now than the better me as I was 4 minutes ago, yesterday, whatever, than I am trying to change somebody else. I'm looking for me to be to my higher consciousness. I'm looking for me to be to where I need to be. And I hope everybody does the same. But a lot of people are in tune with somebody else's life, or trying to tell somebody how they had to look at this or look at that. If everybody looked at the same picture and saw the same thing, it'd just be nonsense. And that's just the beauties of life. Sorry about that.
Then we would have the same blood type, same culture. So again, some of that stuff here is in the unknown. We don't realize how much, for example, people that still practice the concept that each day you eat certain different colors of foods. No different than people that like to do hemp, for example, marijuana. There's a different effect when you understand how the luminaries work. Should I be smoking my weed on a Tuesday or a Wednesday? As you're talking, Chris, should I be doing a rip of muscle on a Wednesday opposed to a Thursday? There's a reason why we have Latin words for all of these things. So again, we're playing in the action part, the manifest part, the physical part, but a lot of those things have already been seen. And for some people, those are the people that are wise and they understand astrology. They understand a lot of those things have been already foreseen. The word foreseen gives it away. If that's what people are looking for. For most people, they're just looking for drama, and they're just sharing themselves outside. That's what they've been conditioned to. TVs, movies, which are all okay. Same with sports. And for most people, they want outcomes.
Yeah. Do you think you could change the world and improve it? I do not think this can be done.
Yeah. And we're using thinking while we're talking about it, Muhammad, whether it's intuitive. Change is always constant. You know, we just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like we'll see something moving in the wind and we'll call it a leaf, but yeah, forget what's air always doing? It's always constantly shifting.
Yeah.
Nobody obtains it.
Yeah, and you also see, like, it's plain as day, the conditioning that's propagated through these screens, selling all of these ideas into the people's minds and having them believe that that's what their reality should be, right? And I believe it's all operating in the subconscious level. Well, maybe not, but a good portion of it at least.
We would have to stay true to the word reality. Most of the time, it's about objective. They're not talking about subjective. So for most people, the literal experience of the material is there. It's constant. It's the subjective part when we start giving it different names to describe it. The word describe gives it away. So again, when people say like reality, I know where they're coming from, but for most people, they think everything's reality. My thoughts are reality.
Right, but delicately, your thoughts could be reality, right? Because it's almost paradoxical right there, because everything that we look at and that we use stems from thought, right? Every single furniture, any electronics, any building houses, all of those things were imagined long before they were constructed.
Well, it's just that everything that is true for thinking is true for being, you know, but.
Again, Patrick, most people are going to look at a microwave or whatever. They're going to see the object and they'll give it a name, microwave. That's in the imagination. That's in thoughts. But for most people, when they hear the definition, remember, we're using an English language. It's a meaningful language. It can mean many different things to describe the same thing. So at this point, it's an objective thing, not a subjective thing. Objective. Listen to the word object. We're talking about
which does
something.
not. You don't need the human mind to define it, right? Is that what objective means? If we're defining things here,
their senses are picking it. I can touch it. I can taste it. I can smell it. That's the objective part. But people just kind of forget that other part. But you're describing it with words that you're experiencing more than that literal experience. If I said sequoia tree in the forest, all of those words are subjective, describing the same thing. Now I could use Latin to do the same thing, same with Mandarin. So that actually, does that confirm or denounce the fact that the language exists there? It doesn't. That's the conditioning that most people are in. And for some reason, they become consciously ignorant about it. Because that would actually challenge their paradigm. And then they would realize how delusional they've been in the illusion. That's a tough one.
it is, because you try to identify a tree without, it's like, and I've had that conversation before. Someone's like, can you tell me what a tree is? Right? But nobody really can tell you what a tree is. They can describe it. They can identify whatever they think it is, but they're not telling me what the tree actually is, right?
So the guy that's talking to the blind person might come aware, then I've been blind the whole time. Yes, you have. You've never seen red truck. You've seen something, you keep describing it as red, let alone truck. Oh, okay. So then you've been blind the whole time. Yes, I have.
In other words, the blind person doesn't need to identify things.
No, he could touch it still. He's using another sense. He could touch it, and then he'll have to trust us that it's red, let alone it's a truck.
Right, because in his mind, what he's touching is whatever it is. It actually is, right? Mm-hmm. Like the truck. Let's say he's touching the truck. Well, he's actually touching a piece of metal.
If I'm saying a language you've never heard before, and I'm describing, and Muhammad knows I'm talking about a red truck, but you've never heard the language I'm talking about, would you be knowing unless I actually do some sort of gesture and I point towards it? Oh, I think Dom's talking about that truck, and it's red, but he's using a different language. Tells you how easily we're conditioned.
Right. Like even trying to explain what the truck is.
There's the alchemy of language, opposed to the alchemy of shape-shifting material into gold. Because I get gold. Gold is a conduit, and people that can consume it understands it. We just put it in electronic stuff now for most people, that we can use it. But most of us wouldn't know how to come to be to that point. So what we're really playing with is the language. Numbers is the language. Colors is the language. All the senses are their own individual languages.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Crazy.
It's crazy stuff. Once you start wrapping your head around this stuff, it can drive you crazy.
Either that or you'd realize, fuck, everybody else is fucking normies. which is okay because naive is a bliss for people that are unaware. The ones that
Right.
are aware,
Ignorance is bliss.
sure
Right.
it is. Sure it
Because
is.
when I started perceiving, things differently, it felt kind of like, how can you call it, a curse. It didn't feel like it was a gift. It felt more like a curse than a gift.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. It could be a gift. You could be like I say, a mystic or a seer, and then you live in a community that your forefathers have said, trust Patrick. He foresees things. But you can also be in a universe where people put value to shit like a doctor or a physician. I said, they're not going to save anybody. Physician's there to heal themselves, and a doctor's there to teach himself. He might make economic gains out of it, hence
Right.
commerce. But again,
Right.
that's where
And
we're
they're
at.
all practitioners. They only practice what, they're not actually that. It's like a doctor. He's a practitioner. He's practicing medicine.
That's the awesome part about a real shaman or people that do different things, because they actually don't even have to take the psychedelic anymore to experience stuff. And so, hospitals
Well,
back in the day used to have sunrooms where people could actually get vitamin D to heal. Now it's so dark, and so when you go to a hospital, I know if I'm on my deathbed, I want to die just wherever, but I don't want to be in a hospital. And if I am in a hospital or somewhere, I hope I have the chance to smoke a joint, eat some mushrooms, do a psychedelic. But until then, I'd rather just keep living. Dust, where I come from is where I shall return. Land, air, and water.
right. And it's funny. It brings me back to the aspect of the term "born into sin," right? Just like in my mind now, I understand like fully what that means. We're just born into stupidity. That's the
Yep.
simplest way we can put it. We are all born into unawareness, unconsciousness, zombie land. We're born into stupidity.
Well,
But
we
there are
must
many,
be
but few are chosen.
true. Well, chosen, I guess, from who, I guess. Sin in the original, I guess, when the word misleading, misinforming oneself. Other people can only lie to each other if they lie to themselves.
That's everyone has their
That,
quest.
it's funny because I saw the paradox there. I was going to say, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man.
It's when you start challenging yourself, you start challenging your program and realize, okay, so I'm standing on something, but am I truly standing on it? Most people, it's like giving this thing called, it's not even AI, we're actually AI, but this program, recording thing, if you don't give it the ability to challenge itself, then it's just going to be a parrot. No offense to the parrot. But, and this is what happens with a lot of people. They're indoctrinated where they're going to mimic things, religion, science, state, biology, but they're not going to question it. They'll defend it and they'll attack other people. That's a perpetual thing. You get a gun so you can defend yourself with a gun, and then you can attack somebody with a gun. That's a perpetual cycle.
I don't need a gun.
Well, you don't. But again, it's not about me and you, Chris.
Right, because there's a lot of people who really believe in guns.
And
You can. I mean, see, that's the cool part. I don't believe in, even if I don't believe in it, I think that people still have a right to do it. Now, if you're going to do something to hurt somebody or something, I mean, that's when it becomes, but as long as people want to just stay in their own lane and just focus on them, then we wouldn't really have to, because if you treat others really as you want to be treated, but it's not always going to be like that. That's why there's always heads and tails on a coin. You don't see a coin with two heads, two tails. It's always going to be one, even if it's at 1% on one side. And that's all it takes is that 1% to make it a heads and a tails. So even if it's at 1%, just like we're just a grain of salt. We're not like the whole sand, but we all make that sand. We all make that windshield that's made out of glass. So it's see how strong it's our weakest link. So is how weak we are. So what you put yourself around, it's like having a moldy piece of fruit in a nice bag of fruit. It's going to get everything else moldy in it. It's that 1%. Takes one.
It can be. It can be. I can only give you a possibility on that because, again, there's a lot of energy. And if you're the strong energy, but there's a whole bunch of other people that are confusing energy, it will pull.
Right.
So the analogy you're giving is the 1% would be the one that actually flips a coin and lands on its head, on its side, where it's usually 50-50 on either side. But I'm not talking about this duality. That's too simplistic. Black and white, zeros and ones. That's simplistic. That's either or. That's like trying to tell a person, do you see the glass half full, half empty? If they want to play that game, then you've already got them in that trap. Opposed to, can I talk about the table? Sure you can. Can I talk about the painting? Sure I can. Why would you want to limit me to a choice of black or white?
But when people talk from experience, I think it's more valid. Like, I remember music back in the day, people would write about what they actually do and done. Now it's kind of like different. And that's not for me to say. But now I know when my mom and my family would say, God, your guys' music is shit. And I say that to my son, and I don't really say it like that directly, but in my mind, he's like, Dad, you don't like this music. I'm like, I don't prefer this stuff. I want to hear something that's, that's talking positive. I said, why don't you put some Tupac on about talking about how good his mama is? Put something on that's gonna raise your frequency. Working out with them every day instead of me just saying sitting on a couch playing a video game, eating, saying go to the gym and work out. I'm out there working out with him. I'm almost 50 years old. You got to just keep going until we're all candles. Once we're out and we're done, we're out and are done. But were you that candle that kept the light for others? That one match lit 1,000 matches. So it's really what you want to do with your life. And if somebody doesn't choose that direction, that's not right or wrong. That's for them to learn.
Well, there's awareness. So the fact that you say you're almost 50, keep in mind once you reach the age of 49, you're going to be in the year of release. So try to kind of be conscious when you're in that year. Once again, when you're hearing music, it depends on the age that your vessel's in. So now this is where a lot of people, their preferences get in there.
Name one good new song besides OTW and some like friends that we know that, name one good song out there if you can. Besides like Whitney Houston that's dead, that had the most amazing voice. Some of these drummers that played amazing. Some of these, Rush. What about, I've seen.
Yeah, right now the top song, Chris, is a AI country song. That's what the top song right now in the United States is a AI country song. Go figure.
Again, we're in a different age. So when they have music like Baroque music, see, I don't want to limit it just to one or two genres here, guys. If we're going to talk about music, you can't just talk about rock and roll and rap. You have to, because then we have to talk about tonalities.
Well, I'm just asking a simple question. If you could name one good song that's by a good band right now, that's all.
Actually, not really, but I do want to answer Sophia Daisy May. It says sin is an archery term that means to miss the mark. Yes, sin is the exact same word as trying. Trying is actually, it's sin, right? Because the definition of trying is failing for lack of preparation. So if the archery term is actually missing the mark, well, that was because the person was trying, right? Because they failed for lack of preparation. They missed the mark. So that's trying is another word for sin.
Okay, so back into the day when they used to have like big bells. Okay, the reason why they had big bells, it was frequency from it, but they didn't have the technology they have today. A lot of us are walking around with all kinds of devices. Back in the days of 8-track, cassette, reel to reel, they all serve a purpose. So in this day and age, the age that we're in now, we're in the age of Aquarius, again, or at least close to it. It's all about the air. So now people's preference, they've done studies, people usually around the age of 20 to 23, the music that they've been listening to, that'll be their preference. It's not about, I like this better than this. It's a preference. Not one's better than another. Unless you're going to start listening to Bollywood music, Asian music, European music. Again, most people are going to get...
All I was saying was back in the day when I grew up, music, they lived by it. Now... That's all I was saying.
I'm hearing you, Chris, but Chris, it's not about me or you. Your preference, your experience is very limited because there's a whole bunch of other beings here that are experiencing all kinds of stuff. Noise pollution plays a major role in all of this, regardless if you like it or don't like it. Whether you like the band Kiss or Def Leppard, it's again, unless you're going to break it down to the tonality.
It is. It's called some of the music nowadays talking about abusing women, like it always has been, kind of, but in a different respect, like pimps and hoes, make your money, do your thing. Now it's about shooting a bitch, killing a bitch. No, I have an 18-year-old, almost 19-year-old daughter, and I don't want to be referred as bitch. Okay. I want my son to be able to open a door for an older lady, older man, for someone, for a lady. I still open a door to this day for women. I want them to be able to live in honor, loyalty. I don't care if somebody else doesn't want to live that way. But when it's my offspring, I have a right to say, hey, I don't want that in my bloodline if I can help it. So when they're listening to this music about killing somebody, taking a weapon, fucking somebody up, no, I told my son, work out. And if you can't beat someone's ass, don't deal with it. You don't have weapons and you don't send anyone ever to do your dirty work. Okay, and that's a lot of this music now is money and bling bling and this and taking pills and doing your syrup and dying. I don't want that shit. So yes, I do have a right to say when it comes through music, it's disgusting. And if I don't want when my son asks me, Dad, do you not like this music? And I say, son, I don't approve of that music. Why don't you listen to something that puts you in a higher frequency? I have a right to say that. Now, if it's your kid or somebody else and they're doing whatever they want to do, or your grandson, your granddaughter, that's really totally up to them. But in my 3-foot realm, like I say, if you can just stay in your 3-foot realm, people, whatever's outside of that 3-foot realm is something we can't touch. We can't vision. Live in the moment. Live in the now. And when I don't want this to be abusive about women, women, without women, we wouldn't be able to also reprocreate, supposedly, except for some people think that we are sand blown through a nostril out, and then there we go, Adam and Lilith, rather than Adam and Eve, because we were Lilith was before Eve. So it's all, no, was I there? No, that's where you could ask me. That's all like some crazy ass opinion, and who knows the fucking truth. What I'm talking about is the now, the presence. And when people are disrespecting one another, fighting, knowing you are not going to get in the boxing ring, if you have so much of a problem with somebody, get little boxing gloves on, get in a boxing ring somewhere, YouTube that shit, sell tickets, and do your thing. But it's all he said, she said, I'm going to fight. You have 30-year-olds trying to fight 50-year-old men. When I was growing up, I respected my elder. That's all. There's no respect towards barely anything. There ain't even no honor anymore.
Right. I just take 2 seconds here to acknowledge a PayPal. So shout out to Yolanda. Thank you very much for your contribution. It's starting to rain money. The chat is on fire. Thank you to all our supporters. Much love and respect to all the audience. Let's fucking go! Yeah, shout out to Yolanda. Much respect. Thanks for the support. All right. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this broadcast? Wasn't it just a fantastic conversation? Great presentations.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, so far. Yeah. I'm gonna go back and watch the beginning of it.
Yeah, I presented Yolanda's video first, the Pixel T, and then after that, I dove into my own presentation when it came to the first chapter of Alice in Wonderland, which is going to be one heck of a long story to break down allegorically, right? Because already it's talking about the descent, and so I imagine now there's still a journey. He still needs to meet the Queen and the Queen of Hearts and all that. So I can't wait to decode all of that part. That's going to be really fun. So do you have any plans for your future broadcasts, TML? Do you have anything you'd like to promote?
Yeah, I'm doing a 3-hour solo thing in the beginning of my show today. So I mean, I gave an explanation many times, but yeah, we're doing first we're going with the pre-Socratics, right? So I'm presenting some information about the pre-Socratics, the archy, right? The archy is a ruling principle. So they decide on different ruling principles. We're going into Pythagoreanism. And we're also looking at some ideas about pre-Christian Gnostic Judaism. That's right. It's a 4-part title to a subject, right? So it's extremely dense subject, right? Then to add on to that, right, we're going into Maimonides and sort of his pre-Kabbalistic ideas, right? And we've done a small little series on looking at the ideas of Maimonides and St. Thomas Aquinas and how they led to the promulgation of reason above nature and the separation of faith and reason and all these types of things, the dichotomy between knowledge and revelation, and how that led to the separation of church and state. And then we're going to the Rosicrucians, their effect on the philosophers like Descartes and Leibniz, right? We're also looking at different ideas about the Quakers and how they were embedded within some Rosicrucian ideas, right? And we're also looking at the effect of Hermeticism as espoused by Rosicrucians and others on the philosophy of Hegel. And obviously the philosophy of Hegel affected the birth of communism, right? The communists were seen as the young Hegelians, but they were also part of occult organizations like the League of the Just. So we're looking at Marx and Hegel and their connections, and obviously how Marx was basically funded by the Rothschilds to promote this global system, right? And global techno-communism. And that leads us to Ellul, right, where we talk about the birth of techno-liberalism. To quote Ellul, he says, technology, that we live in a world technological system, right? And basically he says that liberalism gave birth to its own executioner, right? That liberalism gave birth to the technological state, which is totalitarian. So it's a paradox, right? So yeah, so that's the main focus. We're talking about techno-liberalism, the birth of technocracy, and the controlled opposition against the technocracy, which is technical humanism, right?
Yeah, that's fascinating, man. I can't wait to get pop in and check that out for sure.
So 3 hours of that, and then we'll open up the chat and we'll see what the discussions are like.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. All right, so hey, how about you, Chris? You got anything you'd like to promote on your end? Thank you, TML, for that, man. That's much appreciated. So everybody head on over to TML. Later on today on his broadcast, he'll be presenting all of which he just mentioned, which I will not repeat because short-term memory loss due to a multitude of cannabis consumption. So, but go ahead, Chris.
Thanks, you all, and I hope. I don't really have anything to say. Just thank you for everything.
Yeah, promote your healing, dude, man. Come on, you're on the spotlight. It's time to do that.
Thanks, brother. Well, so pretty much, if anybody would like to open a cannabis, mushroom, or a DMT or anything sacrament to get to your higher consciousness, feel free to hit me on my Facebook. Anything that we do, and if you hear about me off OTW show or anybody else's show, they're going to get a commission as well. I don't ever expect anything. I like to, if I grow, we all grow. And so Healing, we're here to be able to try to take the pharmaceutical drugs. We're like hemp. We're trying to clean the earth, purge the earth. We want to be able to have mom and pop businesses thrive. And we want to be able to see you all want to be able to live the highest frequency you can live. You got this system with these police beating 60 and 70-year-old women up at basketball games, and it's just gone spiraled out of control, and it's beyond us. I don't direct anybody in violence, and that's when you get to your higher conscience. I feel once we all get to a higher consciousness, we'll be on different levels, and that's the awesome part. We're all playing a video game. Some of us might be able to beat that level on one shot. Some it might take a lot. Whoever and whatever journey you guys are on, or girls are on, I hope the best for. And so much of us take life and energy for granted. And if we could just put that frequency into something that could maybe benefit somebody rather than pull them down, like that crab effect, I think that even it's like the 300. It wasn't. They're going against a lot, and they did, all go to the different realm after that. But they did their best they could. So I don't care if you're gay. I don't care whatever you are. If you are something, just be proud. Be what you are. Try not to force your belief on others. Because I feel once we force our belief on others, that's, we all want to see this picture and kind of force somebody to see something that we're not all going to be able to see because it's not our time. Trust the process is just what I feel. And with these psychedelics and like Alice in Wonderland, one side will make you smaller and one side will make you taller. And once you go to these realms of repent and these psychedelics and you realize there's no grabbing onto a pill, there's no grabbing a gun, there's no grabbing nothing but you. And Jennifer tells me a lot, Chris, you're going through a lot. I don't know how you keep your head up, but you got to keep digging. You got to keep growing. I'm flying up to San Francisco this week to help someone on an appeals case because I like doing this. I go into courtrooms. So if people need court or anybody to come and help them with appeals or their court, I have been studying a lot. I'm not an attorney. I could be more of a co-counsel. So if people have court cases and stuff like that out there, please feel free to reach out and I'll do my best I can to look up. But if there's like a victim or loss, injury, harm and stuff like that, I can't really do that. But if it's like violating a statute, code, ordinance, and policy, um, maybe we could work together because to break this realm of these police and these vultures coming and kidnapping us and beating us and stuff, a lot of people think I have a problem with someone on this realm of the YouTube. It doesn't mean shit to me. What means something to me is when you're getting stalked by the police or the government or this or that, or everyone's like, oh God, the government's going to shut down. Yeah, the same people you don't even trust. So it's just a bunch of illusion. So that's why I believe Jah Healing's also an awesome vessel to provide sacrament. It's really for you to get your message, not what I have to tell you, not what someone else has to tell you, what you have to tell you, what you have to learn for yourself. And thank you very much, OT.
All right, man. That's awesome. Thanks for being here, dude. It was a great conversation. And everybody go check out Jah Healing. Nightbot just dropped the link in chat. So shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here.
You too.
All right.
Keep it up.
Dominic, any final words you'd like to say to the audience before we go? Any insight, wisdom that you'd like to share as final statement?
Go inside themselves. Become that channeler that you can become. Having a channel is a good start.
I'm gonna have to agree with you right there.
Hope your little guy's doing okay. Your dog, is he resting beside you now?
Yeah, I think he's doing a little bit better. He's kind of whiny, but I guess he'll get over it. He might be homesick, right? He's only been here for 3 days, right? 4 days now. Wait a minute. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days. So he might be homesick. He might miss his mother, his brothers and sisters. There was I think it was a pack of 6 or 7 dogs. Yeah.
So he's missing maybe his siblings or.
I agree. This is what I'm perceiving. So yeah, it's up to us to keep him entertained and not shy away from his his true purpose is to be our dog.
Distract him enough so that he'll get comfortable in his environment. So.
Yeah, and keep him comfortable and not anyway. I think it's like over time, this stuff heals, but I kind of feel like I'm connected in a sense where I know what the dog is going through, right?
I think we all can relate. We can relate.
Yeah.
The human race, actually, as much as we're trying to communicate with each other with this kind of, call it YouTube or whatever, but a lot of people still come out of it feeling more lonely than they were before.
Yeah.
Never be alone, but being lonely. You could be alone. You could be lonely at a flea market or at a mall because most people just don't know how to really connect with each other.
True. Absolutely true. All right, Dom.
Ciao, guys.
I'm going to thank you for being here. Your presence is always appreciated here. Great conversations. This is awesome. Look, guys, this was a freaking phenomenal broadcast. An absolute success, except for my stuttering and fumbling over my own words. We'll be working on that in the future. Even maybe today. Who knows? All right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This will be me, OTW, opening up my camera before I go. This is OTW signing out for today, coming at you from the belly of the beast. Peace. Yeah. Right. I got it. I got this. I do. Hold on. I'm gonna want to put a good outro, do something cool. I don't know. What do we put? How about OTW news? Yeah, that'll be good to end it. All right, guys. See you next time.